Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto saves a little girl in Naruhina. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Nerjin and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Uzumaki Naruto was a shinobi from Konoha. As such, he was doing a mission with his team. Much to his dismay, however, this particular mission was just to retrieve laundry for a client who had sent their laundry to another small town in order to avoid the prices. His sensei Hiashi was nowhere to be found. He claimed he was scouting the area for enemies, but Naruto knew a lie when he saw it. Aruno Sakura had won a coin flip earlier and as such was out enjoying herself shopping, while Naruto was forced to watch over the infernal machines. After returning from his 3-year training trip with the Toad Sage Jiraiya, the 15-year-old blonde had been literally jumping with joy at the thought of a mission. His enthusiasm dampened when he was informed as to what mission his Jounin sensei had accepted. However, he needed the fun, so he tolerated the idea. This mission is so boring. The young man sighed to himself, all I do is just sit here for 20 minutes until the laundry dries. Why did they need a ninja for that? I mean, anyone could do it. I should be out fighting bad guys, and hold on a second, was it 20 and 40? Maybe 60. Just to make sure, the young man decided that he would check back every 5 or so seconds to ensure that the laundry didn't catch fire. After around 10 seconds he grew even more bored. He hated waiting more than almost anything. A short distance away from the blonde sat a little girl no older than 7. She was wearing a dirty purple kimono that looked as though it had been thrown out before reaching its current owner. The kimono was very simple and appeared to have lilies on it. Its former beauty was obvious to any who looked. The girl wore a small flower in her hair which complemented her pale skin and large blue eyes. The flower was nestled between her left ear and her long dark brown hair. One couldn't be sure of her natural hair color, however, as it appeared as though it hadn't been washed in a few years. This girl seemed utterly transfixed on the blonde. She had never seen someone get so impatient with an inanimate object. What's he doing? She asked herself as she watched him make a weird symbol with his hands. Page Bunshin no Jutsu. Naruto exclaimed loudly, which unknown to him caused the girl to jump as 3 clones popped into existence with only a light smoke screen to mask their entrance. Alright you two, I need you to go and find the following things. He started marking off what he wanted as the 2 clones nodded. The little girl stood wide-eyed as she stared at the sight before her. How did he make himself into more people? Her mind whirled with activity as she considered every possibility. He could be a magician. But then why isn't he wearing a hat, and why didn't he use a wand? Okay, so maybe he's a fairy. Wait, no, he's too big for that. Is he a god? No, he's too young for that. Maybe no, he couldn't be a ninja, could he? No, of course not. The little girl chuckled to herself, a little ninjas are just myths. Just jokes that people tell each other about. Still, the longer she considered, the possibility of him being a ninja was oddly tempting. If he's a ninja, he'll have money, right? Naruto Baka. A voice screamed from outside the building. The girl quickly turned to face the newcomer to the laundromat. What she saw scared her. A large menacing ogress that stood 200 feet tall. She possessed 3 eyes situated below her bloody white hair. In reality, it was just Aruno Sakura yelling at Naruto. However, to the young girl's mind, she was every bit as fearsome as the most powerful demon. We told you not to use jutsu, didn't we? The ogress bellowed to the heavens, sending 3 of the 4 into oblivion before flinging the other to the gates of hell. What actually happened was Sakura destroyed the clones before knocking Naruto into one of the machines. We don't need to draw any attention to ourselves. You heard what Kakashi-sensei said. Sorry, Sakura-chan. Naruto said, rubbing a bump that had formed on his head from hitting the machine. Whatever, Baka. We should get out of here. The laundry's done. I still can't believe we got stuck with this mission. Sakura mumbled to herself as she prepared the clothes for travel. The little girl stood and followed them at a distance, ducking behind trees and other obstructions to avoid being seen until they met up with a 3rd man. He must be at least 300 years old. The girl thought to herself, observing the man, he could be a god. She considered he even has a book. Maybe that's where he keeps the names of those he steals from the earth. Her imagination kicked into overdrive as she easily confirmed her theory. Yeah. That makes sense. Those 2 are probably Death's assistants. Ready to leave, Naruto? Hada Kakashi asked his pupil as he pocketed his Icha Paradise book into his shuriken holder. He was staring past Naruto and Sakura directly at the little girl. She's well hidden for a civilian. An academy student could have done better. But for someone so young and with so little experience, she certainly picked a good location. He thought to himself as Naruto answered him. Yeah, I can't wait. The blonde bellowed. His eagerness to finish this mission could practically be physically felt. Alright, we'll leave as soon as we finish up one more loose end. The cycloptic ninja replied. Loose end? Sakura asked curiously, knowing that they had fulfilled all mission requirements. You can come out now, little girl. was all he said as he pointed to the bush that housed the young girl. His action caused the two others to look over to the bush and finally notice the little girl. "It's now or never," she said as she stumbled from the bush to stand before the divine creatures in front of her, putting on the most determined face she could muster. "You," she shouted, pointing at Naruto, "my name is Hana and you are my new daddy." Naruto just stared at the little girl. He stared and stared. He stared the longest he'd stared at anything before, so around 9 seconds. "Me?" he asked, pointing to himself. "Yeah, you're my daddy," Hana said, smiling, taking his actions to mean he had accepted. "You may decline," the blonde stated, turning around. "Naruto, I don't think she was offering," Kakashi stated. The little girl reminded him of someone. He couldn't place it, but she was like someone he knew. "Yeah, the old man is right," Hana shouted, pointing at Kakashi. "I'm not old," Kakashi muttered weakly. No one had called him the O word before. Ever. That was why he hung around with Guy, it made him feel young, which he was, but after all, once he got old, Guy would start challenging him to prune juice drinking contests, and Kakashi didn't want that. "But you have white hair, mister," Hana said, walking slowly towards the haddock. As if to prove a point, she pointed at it. "But silver," Kakashi said. "Looks white to me," Hana stated. "Silver. White. Silver. White. Silver." "Daddy, tell him it's daddy," Hana said. Naruto was nowhere in sight. "Naruto, tell her it's Naruto," Kakashi said a little more calmly. He didn't notice that his current favorite had left. "Come on, you know that his new favorite's not Sakura." Nearby in a bush. "These two are insane, I can't take care of a kid, I can barely take care of myself. Scritch that I can take care of myself perfectly, I just can't take care of women," Naruto thought as he watched them look for him to settle the argument. "Got that right, kid," the Kyuubi said in Naruto's mind. "What do you mean by that, Baka Fox?" Naruto nearly said aloud. "Face it, if people didn't tell you who the girls were you'd think they were men," Kyuubi continued. "That's not true," Naruto defended himself. "Prove it. Name all the girls in your age group." Kyuubi chuckled. Sakura, if it," Naruto thought. Though those were the only two he could think of, he knew that he had talked to at least one more. "Wrong kid. However, you're taking care of that kid," Kyuubi stated seriously. "Why?" Naruto yelled in his mind, wondering why the fox would care at all. "Look at her. She's obviously poor. There'd be no harm in letting her go back to your village," said the Kyuubi. "Plus I've always wanted a kid," he thought. "Really?" Naruto didn't think she looked poor, just dirty. Amazing how he didn't put those two together, huh? "I tire of this conversation, you're adopting the girl," Kyuubi said, sending a blast of demonic chakra through Naruto, alerting Kakashi of Naruto's location. "Ah. Baka Fox," Naruto yelled, alerting the other two, Sakura and Hana, to his presence. "There you are, Naruto," now Kakashi began, but never finished as a blur ran past him. Naruto didn't know what happened that second. First Kakashi was talking to him, then he got tackled by a bear. He looked down at the small creature. "Daddy, I thought I'd lost you forever and ever and ever and ever and ever," Hana said near tears. "I'm not your dad," Naruto shouted. "Our amidity," Hana stated, looking at Naruto as an adult looks at a child who just stole a cookie from the jar. "Naruto, just level with her." Hana was it. "You seem to be lost, so how about we help you find your parents?" Sakura said, putting in her 2 cents. "Yeah?" Naruto shouted. Kakashi remained silent. The girl's eyes, which were bright with joy just 5 seconds ago, were now dull with despair. "What happened?" the elder shinobi asked. "Huh?" Naruto and Sakura both said at the same time. "This girl was just running away from home, right?" "Who?" Hana asked quietly. "Their parents?" the haddock asked quietly. "Aren't it here?" the girl said in a small voice. A tear seemed to slide down her cheek. "Oh." Naruto and Sakura both said quietly. "But that's okay now, cause I got me a new daddy," Hana shouted into the heavens. Kakashi's sweat dropped. He remembered now who the girl reminded him of, Guy. He really had thought that Guy was the only person who could bounce back from such a sad event so fast. "So when do we leave, Grandpa?" Hana asked Kakashi. Her eyes looked so happy that he couldn't tell her that he wasn't old enough to be a granddad. "Right away. We're going to a shinobi village, so don't get too excited," Kakashi stated, trying to sound sage like, "Hey, someone had to." "Yeah right, shinobi aren't real," Hana said as if she had just said that air was good. "Uh-huh. Yes they are," Kakashi said. "She really is weird," he thought. "Daddy, tell him that ninja aren't real," Hana pleaded. "Actually, Hana are all shinobi," Sakura stated. She'd remained quiet throughout this episode because it was really funny to watch Kakashi argue with a little girl. "Nah. There's no such thing. They can't be real, if they were mommy would be alive," Hana said, looking as though she was going to cry. "Hana, shinobi can't be everywhere at once," Naruto said. "Okay daddy, if you say so, then they must be real," Hana yelled. We've wasted about an hour on this, so can we please go back to the village," Sakura stated. No one seemed to go back to Konoha for some reason. They like the little girl is white cha. Inner Sakura pointed out. Sakura is right, Naruto. Come on, Hana, Kakashi said, walking down the dirt road that lead to Konoha. Yeah, let's go, Daddy, Hana said, jumping up on Naruto's back from a rock. They all started heading down the road. Nearby, the cries of its white and its silver could be heard with increasing vigor. Hey Whitey, when are we getting to Konoha? Hana asked while still riding on poor Naruto's back. It's silver and it's Konoha, and we'll be arriving in about 3 minutes, Kakashi stated angrily. Who could have guessed he'd get annoyed? The whole trip had been like that. Even though they were only an hour away at ninja speed, they had to slow down for Hana, who Naruto still wasn't sure about adopting. The first half had been spent arguing about Kakashi's hair color. Sakura and Kakashi said it was silver, while Hana stuck with it being white. Naruto was busy trying not to fall over with a little girl on his back. The third quarter of the trip was spent with Hana asking question after question about ninjas. This discussion stopped after Naruto had collapsed from the extra weight and they were nearing the end right now. Kakashi sense please get her off, Naruto pleaded the older man. Daddy, do you want me to get off? Hana asked. Yes please, I'll do anything. Naruto begged. Then get me food when we get to Ninja Town, Hana demanded. Food? Ichiraku, of course. Naruto yelled, revitalized with the thought of Ramen. He broke into a quick jog. Naruto, slow down. Sakura yelled as she started to run too. In the village things were calm. It was a slow day for visitors and shinobi alike. Hinata, you should really stop staring out the window and focus on my lesson, Hiashi Hyuga stated. Why yes father, Hinata said, bowing as she redirected her attention on her dad. Today was a special day for Hinata, the day that she would finally confess to Naruto. Her dad babbled on and on about how to control chakra during a Gyuken strike. Yes then you, bubbles in the Linitic soapbox are tasty treats. Well, do you agree, Hinata? Hiashi asked his daughter. Hi father, Hinata said, still not paying attention in the least. He was afraid of this. Hiashi said. Hinata. He shouted loudly, if this is how you're going to act as an heiress, I'll have to put the caged bird seal on you. I don't want to, but I must uphold the honor of the clan. That is all for today, dismissed. Remember, I will expect you to work twice as hard tomorrow, Hiashi said. Come on, every father loves their children, Hiashi just has to look out for a bunch of other people too. Hi father, sorry, Hinata stuttered as she ran out of the training room. She had a lot to do if she was going to confess. Hinata-sama, are you going somewhere? Neji Hyuga asked his cousin as she rushed towards the door. No Neji Nai-san, Hinata stuttered before nearly running through the door. If that is the power of the main branch, then I have to worry. Neji stated before going off to do Neji things. Ichiraku Ramen. Feigned hangout of Uzumaki, Naruto. Highest number of bowls eaten in one sitting. 134 large-facedest bowl of ramen eaten. 30 seconds path records achieved by Uzumaki, Naruto. Daddy, are you sure this place is good? Hana asked as she looked at her dirty kimono. Hana, this place is where the heavens said I can do no better than this. Even the most vile person in the world wouldn't hurt this institution. I spend most of my money here, so please do not insult this place, ever, Naruto said, sounding rather intelligent. What can I get you, Naruto? Who is she? Tuchi, old man Ichiraku aka Ramen chef asked, looking at Hana. Well, Naruto started. He's my daddy. Hana said with a proud look on her face. So's mom? Tucci asked, disbelief spread all over his aged face. The girl looked about 6 to 7 years old at least, and that would have meant that Naruto impregnated someone when he was 9, and as far as Tucci knew, this was impossible. She's adopted, well, more like she adopted me. Naruto said as he explained the situation to Tucci and am Tucci's daughter. Yeah, just like that, Hana said. Well, as congratulations, how about the first 2 bowls are on the house, Tucci said. I can't climb though. Hana whined, thinking the first 2 bowls really were on the building's roof. I mean, the first 2 bowls are free. One for you and one for your dad. Tucci stated, looking at the girl. Free ramen? Thanks, old man, Naruto and Hana said at the same time. Here you go, Tucci proclaimed, setting 2 bowls of ramen. It's a new recipe, please try it. Okay, they said in tandem. The following incident would shock anyone who had ever entered Ichiraku or heard of it, or anyone who knew Naruto, or anyone who knew anything of human anatomy for that matter. Done. Wow, Naruto, it must have Naruto? Tucci asked. Sitting there with an empty bowl was Hana. Naruto was still eating, oblivious that his record had been broken by 15 seconds. Can I have more? Hana asked. She didn't get a lot to eat since it happened, but this was the good. She really hoped she could have more. Because of the rule, yes. You do get more. Tucci said. The rule being that anyone who broke a record got 1 free bowl of ramen and a discount on every other bowl. They ordered a small rule, but hey, a lot of people gave it a shot. Many failed. Yay. Hana yelled. Done. Naruto yelled, setting his bowl down. He looked over to Hana, who was smiling at him. He then noticed that she was already done. She didn't beat me, she just put her bowl down first, Naruto thought frantically in denial. Approximately 5 minutes earlier Hinata was walking towards Ichiraku. She'd already checked with Tsunade to see if Naruto was back from his mission. When Tsunade said yes, Hinata nearly ran out of the office towards Ichiraku. As she approached the institution she thought, there's Naruto-kun and. There shouldn't be no and, there's never an and ever. She thought of the several thousand other times she had seen him in the shop and none of them showed any recollection of another person there ever. Calm down Hinata, maybe it's a guy, she thought in a last-ditch attempt of calming herself. This thought however flew out the window when she noticed the flowery kimono. It's just a friendly date, then she screamed in her head, it has to be. She noticed that Naruto leaned over closer to kiss the girl. She didn't notice that the girl was only around the age of 7 and that Naruto was just looking into Hana's bowl though. Panicking people often don't notice small details like this. So he's got a date. Hinata took this better than she thought she would. Fine, if I can't have him no one can. Without any thought Hinata started to charge the ramen stand to put an end to this date. She'd already planned out how to finish it quickly. The flap flew back behind Naruto. Huh? Was all he could mutter before he noticed a wide-eyed Hinata in a Jayuken stance, hand in mid-strike. Oh hey Hinata, are you trying to spar with me? Naruto asked, oblivious to the fact that if Hana hadn't turned around they would all three have been dead in a matter of seconds. Oh, it's just a little girl. A mere coincidence perhaps. Hinata thought, wondering. She spent a second like this before she remembered that she was about to kill Naruto. Hey daddy, why is the blind lady pointing at you? Why is she turning red? Is she a tomato? Hana asked. Daddy? This was Hinata's final thought of the hour before she fell into Naruto. Unconscious, of course. Hinata. Naruto said, unprepared for this, also fell to the ground trying to push the unconscious girl off of him. Tomato is attacking daddy. He's going to get crushed, then he's going to turn blue, then he's going to turn purple, then he's going to turn green, Hana yelled, running back and forth, yelling that daddy was going to turn every shade of the rainbow before being crushed to nothingness. She was of course over-exaggerating, but little kids have such overactive imaginations. Don't panic Hana. Hinata's actually not that heavy, Naruto said, lifting the unconscious girl off of himself. Well, we better take her to the hospital though. Naruto said thoughtfully. Yeah daddy, we need to get Hinata to the hospital. Hana yelled, smiling. Naruto, I don't think that's necessary, just take her home. Oh, and I'm writing Uzumaki, Hana on the plaque, I hope that's okay, Tucci said. Ah young love, he thought. Ah young love, thought Kyuubi, reminiscing. Ah youthful love guy thought he was bored, so he decided to go look at the knowledgeable girl who had deduced Kakashi's hair was white. We all know that guy thinks this. Don't deny it. If you say so, old man, Naruto said, picking Hinata up bridal style. Let's go Hana. Oh, and it's Hinata and hospital. Hinata was feeling weird. She felt like she was being carried. That's not right. What happened? She asked herself. I went to Ichiraku, Iwasi was going to kill Naruto. But something stopped me, what was it? She opened her eyes. Oh, you're awake, that's Naruto began. He never finished. She had fainted again. Daddy, I think she's dead, Hana said, poking Hinata in the chest with a crooked stick. Stop that Hana. She's fine. Naruto stated, brushing the stick off of Hinata. Hinata was having a great dream. It involved her and Naruto and a lot awful, let's just say that it made everything in Jiraiya's books look like innocent kisses on the cheek. Fear the dark recesses of a shy person's mind. If anyone had looked closely they would have noticed a slight nosebleed on the innocent Hyuga's face. Here we are. Naruto said. The blind person's home? Hana asked. Everyone had no eyes. A few of the Hyugas were staring at this point. No, this is the Hyuga's house, Naruto stated. Many of the Hyugas stopped staring. So it's all girls? Hana asked, noticing their long hair. Many angry glares were sent in her direction. No, there are men here too, Naruto said, noticing the stares. They all look weak compared to you, Daddy, Hana said happily. They were no longer staring, it was more of a boy, I wish I could kill that kid glare. Actually, some of the strongest people in the village are from here, Naruto pointed out. Naruto, why are you carrying my cousin? Neji asked in a low voice. Ah. Blind lady is related to Tomato. Hana screamed. Give me that, Neji said, taking Hinata from Naruto, just as one would take a sack of dirt from someone they didn't like. Take your daughter and please leave before Hiashi-sama comes. Okay Neji, Naruto said. He was used to stares and he knew which ones meant death if you didn't vacate the premises immediately. There were about 100 of those sent at Hana at this point. "Aye, scary lady," Hana said happily. Neji's eyebrow twitched in angerage, a more accurate term, as he walked to put Hinata into her room. The next day. Hinata sat up groggily in her bed. What happened? She wondered. After such a good night's sleep full of naughty dreams, Hinata felt ready to start her day. As soon as she remembered why she fainted. A few feet away from her on her dresser there was a note. The note read, "Dear Hinata sama Naruto and his daughter came by the other day with you unconscious, so I put you in your room sent Neji." The blush ran to Hinata's cheeks. She'd been fantasizing about Naruto with Naruto nearby. I hope I didn't do anything, she thought. By 11 o'clock she was at the training ground where her team met. Today was a slow training day lasting about half as long as a normal session. Today they were working on being able to spot one another. Shino had won a round and Kiba had won too. This time Hinata was going to win. Kurenai was sitting out because of her pregnancy. Hinata had spotted Shino and was about to call out when. "Team, come here," Kurenai shouted. Once they had assembled, she continued, "I was informed that Naruto has adopted a lit girl." Adopted? This made Hinata feel a great deal better. "And they're coming here so that Uzumaki, Hana can get a good idea on how shinobi work," Kurenai said. Hinata's teammates took the news differently. Kiba was shouting about how awesome Naruto's daughter would find him, Shino by being Shino, and Hinata, who panicked, oh no, this is going to end badly." "Hey, we're here." A voice cried out. Naruto was carrying Hana piggyback again. "Hey Baka," Kiba yelled towards Naruto. "Shut up, dog breath," Naruto shouted right back. "Please Kiba, his daughter is present," Shino said. "Hey mister, you look cool," Hana said about a foot from Shino. "Here we go again," Shino thought. "Oh, and is this cool?" he said, releasing a torrent of bugs from his body. He knew how this went, she'd freak out in panic and avoid Shino forever. So predictable. Hana's eyes went wide. "That's the coolest thing ever," she yelled, jumping up and down with excitement. Anyone who wasn't there outright did not believe what happened next. Shino, yes, the Shino walked over to the little girl, got down on one knee and gave her a hug that would have made Guy proud. Just to recap, Shino, knee, hug, girl. A single tear slid down his face. "Thank you." Then, as if nothing happened, he got back up and resumed his passive stance. "I'll explain my reason for doing this." After being avoided for having bugs in him, someone saying he's cool for it just made Shino's ear. No one spoke for a few moments. "Okay team, he wants Shino and Kiba to spar for Hana, just some basic stuff." "Okay Hinata, Naruto, go sit over there," Kurenai said slyly. BBB Hinata began but stopped after Naruto grabbed her hand and drug her over to the designated spot. "Let's go Hinata. Hana's going to make them do big jutsu, I just know it," Naruto said to the glowing Hinata. "Honestly, you could have cooked on that blush." "SSO Naruto-kun, how's training going?" she asked, blushing hard. "Oh, it's great," Naruto said as he began to ramble on about training. He hasn't let go. Hinata thought over and over, concentrating on the fact that Naruto was still holding her hand. "Over with Shino and Kiba." "Tsuga," Kiba yelled, spinning rapidly. "Oh Uncle Shino, you can do it," Hana yelled from the sidelines as Shino dodged Kiba, who kept spinning towards Naruto and Hinata, unable to stop. "Hinata, move." Naruto yelled, diving to move Hinata out of the way as Kiba crashed into a tree. "You okay Hinata?" Naruto asked. Hinata fainted at this point, noticing Naruto was close enough to kiss her. It didn't help that his hand had fallen on her chest during the fall. "Dad, you killed her, oh my god, she's dead. Did Yunko at do we help?" Hana started yelling, running around all the while shouting help. "Hana, she's fine, just fainted," Shino stated calmly to the little girl, placing a hand on her shoulder again. Nobody believed this when Naruto told them. "Really okay as long as Tomato is okay," Hana said. "You just need to take her home Naruto," Kurenai said. "Why me?" the blonde asked. "Because you're the one feeling her up," Kurenai responded. "It was an accident," Naruto yelled, blushing a little as he picked Hinata up bridal style to take her home. "Bye Uncle Shino," Hana yelled, waving over her back as she ran to catch up with her daddy. "Man, she must be really sick. Ah crap, I must have hurt her," Naruto said. "Narm," Hinata muttered in her sleep as some blood seeped from her nose. "Why?" Hana asked. "Because her nose is bleeding," the blonde said. "Why?" Hana responded. "Because she must have gotten hurt during the fall." "Why?" "Because her nose is bleeding," Naruto restated. Hana began. "Stop asking why, I told you why," Naruto yelled. "Are we where Scary Lady lives yet?" Hana asked. "Please call him Neji at least," Naruto said, sweat dropping. "So he's Akama?" Hana asked. Akama means transvestite. "No. Don't call him that," Naruto yelled in desperation. "Naruto, what did you do this time?" Neji said. This is why he hated guard duty. He always got the weirdos. "Hey Akama," Hana yelled happily. "Get out no," Neji said, taking Hinata from Naruto and walking away angrily. "Hana Shigano," Naruto said. He noticed that a few Hyuga were sending very angry glares at them. "Now," Naruto said, picking Hana up and ran quicker than Rock Lee out of there. This was the third day Hana was here. Naruto liked the girl, he really did, but this was one thing he could do without. She keeps taking the blanket, he thought, crying a little. They'd had to share a bed until Naruto could get her one. "If only I had rich friends. I could get her a bed," Naruto muttered as he got up. He was overlooking the fact that he had 3 very rich friends Konohamaru, Neji, and Hinata, although come to think of it at this point, the last thing Neji wants to do is give Naruto money for Hana. Hana opened her eyes as she felt Naruto get up. "Hey daddy, can I go around the village today?" Hana asked. She really wanted to explore the village without Naruto. Just to get a feel for it. "Fine, just be here by 6," Naruto said, half asleep. "Okay daddy," she yelled. About 5 minutes after this happened, Naruto's danger senses went off. He knew that he'd done something bad but couldn't place it. He took stock of everything around him and found nothing out of the ordinary. "Baka, the girl is missing," Kyuubi yelled. He found the girl was the perfect kid for him. She was funny and she bothered the crap out of Naruto. He'd always wanted a kid to teach, they brought joy to the world in their own special way. "Not that I'd tell anyone," I thought that he added hastily. "Girl?" Naruto asked. "Hana." And with that piece of wisdom he zoomed out the door. "Wow, there are so many things here," Hana said as she looked everywhere from under rocks to the top of buildings. No one messed with her. Why? Because they didn't get the time, she was running too fast. "Hey, wait a second, is that Uncle Shino?" she said loudly, running up to hug Shino violently. "Hello Hana," Shino said, returning the hug. The entire Aburam clan was starved for human attention, so they took it in any form they could get. Fighting, mosquitoes, TV. So for someone to hug you just being nice was like hitting the lottery. "What are you doing, uncle?" Hana asked, letting go. "I was going to do nothing but relax today, lie. However, since you're here Hana, we could go meet my team, almost lie, and just hang out," Shino said, inviting her to just hang out. "Is Tomato going to be there?" Hana asked. "If she's still sick then I don't think she should be out." "Hinata is not sick. However, she's not accustomed to being around your daddy," Shino said. "Good one Shino, you almost blew Hinata's secret. It's just like I tell you, never ever." Anyway, you get the point of what Shino thought. "Well, how do we get the make costume to each other?" Hana asked, staring at Shino with big eyes. "I suppose they'd just have to spend time together," Shino said. "Nice excuse Shino, my boy. If you get any more great ideas check into a mental ward." Anyway, that was the gist of what Shino thought. "Really?" Hana said. "Yes, here we are," Shino stated. "You know, you just state the obvious a lot. Why do you talk to yourself so much in your head? In real life, you'll say about 8 words in a conversation, but no, with me it's yak yak yak." Anyway, that is the main point of what he was thinking. "Hey Shino, what's the brat doing here?" Kiba asked. The little brat thought that Shino could beat him. "I invited her," Shino said. If you listened carefully you could hear a slight buzzing originating from Shino. "Hello Hana," Hinata said, bowing slightly. "Hey Tomato, you seem healthier," Hana said. "Hana, sit over there while we train for a bit, okay?" Shino said gently. Really now, even the people who were there didn't believe this one. "Okay uncle. Have fun with Tomato," Hana said, running off to sit by a tree. "Only where is she?" Naruto yelled while running through Konoha. "Where is who?" Naruto Lee said, appearing beside Naruto. "Yes, who are you looking for on this youthful day?" Guy said, appearing on Naruto's other side. "Hana, my adopted daughter," Naruto said loudly. "The youthful genius who found Kakashi's secret?" Guy asked. "Yeah," Naruto said, "have you seen her?" "No, but come over to our training ground real fast and I'll find 2 people to look for our youthful little friend," Guy said, turning left quickly. "Great practice Kiba," Shino said quietly. "Yeah Uncle Shino, you're the best," Hana yelled. "Kiba, are you alright?" Hinata asked. "Yeah, my skull's just numb," Kiba said. Shino had repeatedly slammed his head into a tree. "Okay, we all know that numbskull over there is okay, but what do you guys do now?" Hana asked over Kiba's objections at his nickname. "Now we're going to go to the tea shop and rest," Shino said. "However, if you would like we could go somewhere else." Now this little sentence invoked 3 different reactions in 3 different people. Kiba was ticked off because he had been trying for years to get their hangout location changed. Hinata blushed, remembering a naughty part of her dream last night where Naruto had said something similar. Hana, however, just started thinking of where they could go. "You guys know Ichiraku Ramen?" she asked. "Okay team, this is a mission to find one Uzumaki," Hana, Guy said to all assembled. Lee, Neji, Ten and Naruto were all awaiting orders. "Any questions?" Guy continued. "Is this an assassination mission?" Neji asked, sounding very happy at the possibility. No." Guy backing up a few steps. "What does she look like?" asked Ten. "Just like this," Guy said, taking out a picture of Hana. Guy-sensei, how did you get a picture of her?" "I don't even have a picture of her," Naruto asked. "Oh well, you see, I just take pictures of all the very youthful people and all the very non-youthful people and put it on my wall to help me get more youthful." Guy lied. In reality, he'd been taking pictures of a girl he liked and Hana just happened to get in the way. "Okay then," Naruto said, taking a few steps back. "The first person who finds her picks the team schedule for the week." Guy proclaimed, speeding off. Okay then, she might beg eyes. Where'd you go? Naruto asked, oblivious to the fact that to get a week off would be heaven to Neji and Tenten, and that a week of non-stop training would be heaven. Ichiraku Ramen. Famed hangout of one Uzumaki Naruto. Quickest bowl of ramen every ATN 15 seconds. Held by Uzumaki, Hana. Shino, Hinata and Kiba just stared. They were shocked, they were surprised, and they were suspicious. How did you beat Naruto-kun's record? Hinata asked. It had taken Naruto years to beat that record. He was so happy when he did. Hinata was there, so she knew. Well, she wasn't there, but she saw it. Yeah, brat. How? Kiba asked. The job. First 2 bowls are on all Uncle Shino today, Shino said, pointing to himself. Oh, thank you, Uncle. Hana said as she started talking to Tucci. All Uncle Shino? Kiba asked, laughing. He quickly stopped, however, with a glare cast in his direction by Shino. There you are. A voice yelled from behind the curtain. Daddy? Hana asked between mouthfuls of ramen. Yes, Naruto said, emerging through. He was covered in dirt, grime, and he had a few twigs in his hair. I've looked all over for you. I apologize for Hana, Naruto, however she was just hanging out with us, Shino said. Oh, he guessed that's okay, Naruto said, smiling. You really should shower or something. Kiba pointed out. Yeah, I guess you're right, but he can't bathe Hana. Naruto said, looking down. Why not? Kiba inquired. Because she's a girl and I'm just her adoptive father, weren't that close. Naruto stated. Wait a sec, Hinata, you're a girl, could you do it for me? Naruto begged. Sure, Naruto-kun. Hinata stammered out. Yay. Sleepover with tomato at Akama's house. Hana yelled. Yumi don't know about you staying, but I just can't bathe you, I'll pick you up at 6, Naruto said as he walked out. Let's go, tomato. Bye, Uncle Shinasi, you numbskull, Hana said, dragging Hinata out of the restaurant. The time was 12 o'clock. Going to Akama's house. Going to Akama's house, Hana was singing as she walked with Hinata towards the Hyuga home. Please, Hana, see, could you be a bit quieter, people are starting to stare. Hinata said, blushing at the attention she was getting. It wasn't that much, 4 or 5 people at the most, but Hinata can't handle attention that well. Okay. Hana said as she started humming the ode to Akama under her breath. Please, Hana, stop. Hinata pleaded. She was really not used to the attention. Okay. Hey, tomato, do you like daddy? Hana asked. Hinata was blushing a little. Hi. Then is that why do you sleep with him? Hana asked. I don't sleep with Naruto-kun. Hinata stuttered out, blushing greatly at the attention. Not to mention memories of her dreams. Yeah, you do, I was there. Hana stated defiantly. I just fainted, Hana. Hinata said a bit louder than necessary. Almost as if she was telling everyone in the immediate vicinity. When are we going to get there? Hana asked. She wanted to see Akama again. In a few minutes, Hana, please though, when we do get there, don't be rude. Hinata said without stuttering. She was actually quite proud of herself because of this fact. I have a question. Hana stated as she stopped walking. What is it? Hinata asked, hoping it wasn't about a certain blonde. Why were you pointing at daddy in the ramen shop a few days ago? Hana asked. Oh no. How do I answer this? Tell her I was going to kill them. That won't go well. Hinata thought before settling on I don't know what you're talking about. Again with no stutter. But Hana started. Then no idea at all, Hinata said. We're here. Hana yelled as loud as her little body could muster. Yumi, yeah, we'll have to ask father if you can stay for a while. Hinata said, leading Hana into the house. Whoa, it's so big compared to daddy's house. Hana muttered in awe. I know, Hinata said. The Hyuga house was exactly 20 times bigger than Naruto's apartment. Funny how spying on someone while they sleep for hours on end can give you a great reservoir of knowledge, huh? And Atao is this? Hiashi asked. All I wanted to do today was sit around and watch kid shows on my TV, but instead I'll have to deal with something weird, no doubt. Hiashi though, he'd been watching kid shows recently to get his mind off the horrors of life, namely paperwork. This is a Hana. Hinata stuttered. Hiashi then did what he did to all people the first time he met them. He glared. He had nothing against the girl, just to see how she would react. Hana just looked right back at him. She's good, Hiashi thought as he glared harder. Hana just looked right back. Man, she won't flinch. That's it. Hyuga death glare, Hiashi thought as he sent said look at Hana. Now most people would faint or be frozen in fear at this look. 3 people actually died when they received it. Hana just looked right back at him. This unnerved Hiashi a lot, he himself couldn't look in the mirror with this look on. Hana just looked right back. Without realizing it, Hiashi backed up ever so slightly. You're funny, mister. Hana said, laughing. Demon. Hiashi yelled, overreacting. He didn't really think this, but he got so little chance to yell nowadays, so he took this chance. Well Hinata, he continued as if nothing had happened, make sure your friend here enjoys herself, after all we must show guests. He just kept going on and on about the main branch needing to be social. I'm Hiashi by the way. Okay Hiashi-sama. Hana said, she didn't know much about rich people, but she did know that they should be respected. At least during the first meeting. Hi father. Hana, we really should be going. Hinata said, grabbing Hana's hand and dragging her into Hinata's room. Nice room, hey look, a picture of Dad and Anathara. Hana wasn't sure, but even with her small math skills, she knew that having that many pictures of someone is a little weird. Yumi, I'll go get you some clothes. Hinata said, blushing. She really didn't think that she overdid it. She only had around 50 pictures of Naruto, most of which were taken without his knowing. When Hinata left the room, Hana started exploring the room. In the closet there was an altar of sorts, with a lot of pictures of Naruto. On top of the dresser was a picture of Naruto's team with Sakura and Sasuke's eyes scratched out. Right next to this picture was a picture of Hinata's team. Nothing was done with this picture however. Wow, this is kinda creepy. Hana said aloud. Please don't touch my stuff. I don't want to have to hurt you. Hinata said, blushing. Most of these pictures did have copies, but these ones were original. The only clothes I could find were shinobi ones from Hanabi. Oh okay. Hinata continued, showing Hana a t-shirt with ninja pants. They were in okay condition, but could have been better taken care of. Okay. Bath time. Hana yelled as she ran to follow Hinata into the bathroom. The bath itself passed without incident. It ended at 2 o'clock. Wow. It's good to be clean, Hana said, rubbing her light brown hair. They had to drain and refill the tub 3 times to get it this clean. Why yeah, I'm sure it is. Hinata stuttered out. Can we go talk to Akama? Hana asked. Neji Nai-san. Sure, Hinata stated. Yay. Hana yelled, running out the door. Neji was having a great day today. He hadn't seen Guy or Lee for quite some time. The brat was missing and Tenten was also nowhere to be found. Finally he could do all the stuff they wouldn't let him do. Now I can finally think. It's nearly impossible while getting weapons thrown at you or someone preaching about youth. I'm already youthful enough, thank you, now goodbye. Neji thought as he relaxed on his bed. The only thing was that he had a bad feeling, almost as if the perfect day was about to be ruined. Open up, Akama. A voice yelled outside Neji's door. No, I got rid of you. Naruto found you, you should be with him, Neji said, backing away from the door. He couldn't imagine how this had possibly happened. Leave me alone. Now. Neji said. If you paid attention even a little you could hear fear in his voice. Neji Nai-san, open the door please, Neji heard Hinata say. I'll be right there. Neji mumbled. He really hated the main branch now. Hello Akama, Hana said calmly. Oh, you're calm, I suppose if you want you could both come in then. Did your hair change color? Neji asked. He usually hated being wrong about people, but this is one instance where he didn't mind in the least. Yay. Hana yelled, running in and started jumping on Neji's well-made bed. I stand corrected. Neji said. It looked as though he could cry. The time was 5 o'clock. Hey, how do you see if you have no pupils? Hana asked after she was done writing Akama over everything Neji owned and quite a few things he didn't own. It's the Byakugan and it is a Hyuga bloodline secret. Neji explained. The time was 6 o'clock. See, come on Hana, we need to get you downstairs for Naruto-kun to pick you up, Hinata said. Okay. Bye Akama. Hana said, walking out with Hinata. She really isn't that bad, Neji said. She's worse. Downstairs Hinata was awaiting Naruto's arrival with Hana. Can I come over again? If Naruto-kun allows it, Hinata said quickly. They then heard a knock on the front door. Daddy? Hana yelled, running to open the door. Hey Hana. Naruto said as he walked in. Thanks for letting her come over, Hinata. Anything for you, Naruto-kun, Hinata thought. And no problem, and Naruto-kun. Hinata said, blushing. Hey, you want to come eat lunch with Hana and me tomorrow? Naruto asked. After all, Hana seemed somewhat fond of Hinata. Yeah, do it. Hana said loudly. Just you and Hana? Hinata asked, blushing furiously. Yeah. Naruto proclaimed. Sure, I'll meet you at Ichiraku's then. Hinata said, smiling a little and blushing a lot. It's a date then, Naruto said, leading Hana out of the house. He meant this in a casual way, of course. The date. Hinata said loudly. She was joyful beyond joy. Then she fainted. The time was 6:04. Nada. Hinata. A voice was saying. Wake up, Hinata. Hinata moaned. She'd just had the greatest dream. In it, Naruto had asked her on a date and they had a wonderful ending with, well, you can probably guess what it was. Hinata. It was Neji. Hinata, wake up now. Neji Nai-san. Hinata asked, getting up. If you plan on going on your date, you'd better sleep in a bed, not the floor. Neji said calmly. He overheard it while going to get food. The kitchen was by the front door. "Hi Neji Nai-san, I should go get ready for bed, thank you," Hinata said as she went to admire her altar for an hour, then go to bed. "For some reason I think that I should get ready to start babysitting," Neji said. He shuddered before going to Neji's stuff. The next day Naruto was walking around with Hana trying to find her a babysitter for when Naruto was on missions. Hana kept saying Tomato would be perfect, but Naruto thought she should at least meet the others. On the way to Ichiraku Ramen for the lunch date they ran into Choji. "Hey Naruto," Choji said. He was eating a bag of normal chips. Not wavy, not crispy, not barbecue, just normal chips. No one ever eats those anymore for some reason. "Hey mister, you look hef." Naruto knew what was going to happen before it happened. He moved to get Hana out of the way before she incurred the wrath of chubby people. Sadly he tripped in his haste to save Hana. "Fantastic." Hana yelled, "You're so big, you must be really strong." "Well yes, I guess I am," Choji said, taking an immediate liking to the girl. He had a feeling they'd get along just fine. "Want some chips?" "Nah thanks though big guy, but I gotta go eat with Tomato," Hana said. "Who?" Choji asked. "Me and daddy are going to eat with a girl named Hinata. I think she's more like a tomato though," Hana said as if it were obvious. "Oh? Gotta date Naruto? Well practice safe sex, wear a helmet," Choji said as he walked off laughing at his own little joke. Hinata would never consent to that, he thought, leaving. He was wrong however, but nobody realized that for a few years. "Hey look, there's Hinata," Naruto said, pointing said girl out. Hinata visibly blushed when she saw Naruto. Hello Naruto-kun," Hinata said. She was dressed in her usual attire, but something was different about her. Naruto couldn't place it. She just looked brighter today, happier for lack of better word. "Hey Tomato," Hana said, running up to hug Hinata's legs as that was all she could reach. "Alright Hana, you need to get off Hinata," Naruto said, chuckling lightly. He was amazed at the fact that a girl who usually blended in with her surroundings would be so happy to eat with a little girl. "Swing and a miss Kit Kyuubi said, noticing this thought process going on. He knew a lot of things that Naruto had missed. He wasn't a love guru by a long shot, but even he noticed Hinata's lacking of the young blonde. Really though, I shouldn't be one to judge, after all I didn't realize this until a day ago, Kyuubi thought. He really did think he deserved credit though, after all he wasn't human and therefore not familiar with human emotions. "What do you mean Baka Fox?" Naruto said to Kyuubi. He couldn't shake the feeling that Kyuubi knew something that Naruto should know. Who else would Hinata be happy to see? Now, kid, if I told you that I wouldn't be able to watch you try to figure it out," Kyuubi said, "after all I do so enjoy your handicap in this situation." "Naruto-kun. Hey, are you okay?" Hinata asked the blonde, snapping him out of this mental battle. She looked genuinely worried about him. Being Naruto however, he didn't think much of it at the time, or later on for that matter. "Yeah. Now, let's eat," he exclaimed loudly, running into the restaurant. Throwing back the curtains or whatever they're called, he entered the restaurant followed by Hinata and Hana. They sat down and ordered their ramen. "Hey, daddy, do you like tomato?" Hana asked in a voice that suggested that she was thinking hard about something, as hard, anyway, as a 7-year-old could think about something as complex as the something was. "Yeah, why wouldn't I like her?" said person responded in a voice that clearly meant that he meant, for those of you who don't know, that Hinata was his friend and if it all came down to it, he would give his life for hers, as he would all his friends and newly acquired daughter. Hinata blushed a nice shade of pale red or possibly a dark pink. She started poking her index fingers together in a nervous manner. She knew that he meant he liked her as a friend and no more, yet she added mentally. Hana seemed to reach a decision about whatever she was thinking about as the slightly steaming bowls of ramen arrived while Hana and Naruto tore through them, Hana being slightly faster, though Naruto was barely behind at all. Hinata slowly ate hers, wanting the date even as friendly as theirs was to last as long as possible. They heard the faint flap of cloth being moved out of the way in a slight hurry. They turned and saw Shino, who looked to be in a good mood. "Hello Uncle Shino," Hana said loudly between mouthfuls of ramen. She looked at him as he sat down in the seat next to her. He reached into his pocket and looked slightly apprehensive about the object. "What's that, Uncle Shino?" He opened his hands to reveal sunglasses, the kind people in my clan wear. They are a symbol of acceptance in my clan. The reason most of us wear it is to signify that we are accepted in the clan. I convinced my father to allow me to, present it to you, if you want it of course. Shino looked slightly sadder at this party, then continued, "If you do accept it however, you'll be allowed into the Aburam clan house at any time, and you'll also be given a vote in Aburam matters when you're old enough, and this would essentially make you an Aburam in all but blood. But if you don't want it, I understand." Shino stopped and waited for an answer. He looked ready for rejection and also eager, slightly like a little kid, hoping that, inside the present they had gotten was the new toy they wanted. "Would that mean I would get to see you more often?" Hana asked in a quiet voice. Yes, me and my clan. Shino said, sounding slightly optimistic. Then all I can say is these. She yelled with so much enthusiasm that even Naruto thought it was a bit excessive. Then I want you to keep these. Shino said, handing the glasses to Hana. She tried to put them on like Uncle Shino, but slipped off and instead hung onto her chin. Shino chuckled and put them on her forehead like one would put the Konoha headband on. It stayed almost perfectly. I'll see if I can't get a slightly smaller pair. Shino said and then stood up to leave, then almost as if he had just noticed Hinata and Naruto in the booth, sat back down and said to Naruto, she is allowed to have these, right? I don't see why not, but isn't it a bit soon to allow her into the clan? Naruto asked. He did think that after knowing each other for only a few short days, that allowing a membership to a very reclusive clan was a bit premature. Not at all. She isn't afraid of us. That's good enough. Shino said as if he thought the question was a waste of his time. He stood up again and then said, Hana. Would you like to meet a few other Aburams? Yeah. If it's okay with daddy. Hana said, looking at Naruto with puppy dog eyes. Sure, have fun, Hana. Naruto said, then stopped and looked at Hinata. Actually, you're our guest, Hinata, is it okay with you if she goes? Hinata blushed at being brought into a decision like this. I'm sure. She stuttered out. This was exactly the kind of thing she wanted to happen. Getting Hana out of the way ensured that she would spend some alone time with Naruto, and making Shino happy was just an added bonus. Alright, Hana, go along then. Naruto said as though he was talking about an incident that happened many years ago. Yay, let's go, Uncle Shino. She yelled as she ran out of Ichiraku Ramen. Naruto, I'll bring her back in an hour about. Shino asked in a tone that said this was clearly not a question. Okay. Naruto shrugged. He liked Hana, but a few minutes without someone with a loud voice yelling in your ear would be a welcome change. But bye. Shino said, following Hana. SON Naruto-kun, how's Hana doing? Hinata said, grabbing onto a subject that wouldn't sound weird to talk about. She's fine, though I would like a day to myself without her yelling in my ear, but hey, who said being a parent was easy? He said, laughing slightly. Why, you see, could let her stay with me and Neji Nai-san for a D-day. Hinata suggested, getting redder and redder at every word. Thanks, I just might take you up on that offer, another day though. Naruto said, then noticing that Hinata was really red, asked, you okay? You look like you have a fever. With the last word he put his hand on her forehead to check for said affliction. The result was nothing. I guess you're okay if never mind, he started as she fell over onto him. Naruto, you had better get her home soon anyway, you've been here for 2 hours. Tucci said. He hadn't said anything before this because he got so lonely with only his daughter around, but these three were like free cable, except more entertaining. It's that late already? Oh well, better take her home. Naruto said, picking her up bridal style. Hinata had a great feeling. Almost like she was being carried, almost as if Naruto-kun were doing it, almost as Ich opened her eyes to see what was happening, she then immediately closed them. Naruto was carrying her. She was so happy she almost fainted, but held on to consciousness in order to enjoy the feeling of his arm supporting her. It was like a dream come true. I can't believe my luck, a date, and now he's carrying me. This day couldn't get any better. Naruto for his part was being well behaved about this. Not copping a feel on the unconscious girl was quite an accomplishment for a 15-year-old. It's not that he didn't want to, heck, he knew that even the fox was encouraging the action, but Naruto knew the consequences of perverted behavior. The Iro Senin Jiraiya was more than a perfect example of this point. He actually kind of liked how he felt when carrying her. He was snapped off from this train of thought when a kunai almost pierced through his foot. What the hell? He yelled, almost dropping Hinata. Naruto? Is it just you? A scared voice said from a nearby tree. Yeah, and Hinata. Naruto said, getting ready to run if need be. Oh. What a relief. Neji said, getting down from the tree. He wasn't dressed in his usual attire. He had camouflage war paint all over his face, as well as a black headband on to keep his hair out of his face. His clothes were more of a jumpsuit, it was a dark green color, almost as if he'd been planning an ambush. Why? Naruto said, setting Hinata down. Said girl looked disappointed, but neither male noticed. Because I thought that demon was with you. Oh well, no harm done, I'll take my cousin back to the house then. Neji said, looking as if the simple fact that he hadn't seen Hana today was enough to get rid of the caged bird seal. And no, Neji Nai-san, I'll walk, Hinata said, getting up. Thank you for the wonderful day, Naruto-kun. And with that both Hyugas walked away. The Hyuga surely are the weirdest people ever. Honestly, a little girl changes them from quite to insane in a heartbeat. Naruto said as he went to his apartment to await the arrival of Hana. As soon as they had left the restaurant, Shino, who was extremely happy that there was at least one person in the world who wouldn't shun Aburam clan members, grabbed Hana, who was talking about all the cool stuff that had happened to her since she last saw her uncle Shino, and led her to a restaurant. Anyone who thought that Abiram clan members didn't enjoy a good joke every now and then, or that said clan members didn't prank people, had not hung around in Abiram. In truth, the clan enjoyed jokes more so than any other person in the world almost, because it distracted them from the fact that they were social outcasts. These jokes were far and in between, but they did happen. This is one of those times. "Where are we going, Uncle Shino?" Hana asked, wondering why Shino was leading her into a restaurant. "A CA friend of mine," Shino responded. He was giddy with excitement, after all, who wouldn't enjoy a good joke? "Yay!" Hana shouted. If the two people in the booth 4 rows from them knew what was coming, at least one of them would have made a break for freedom. "Hello, Shikamaru," Shino said, sitting down beside the Chunin with pineapple hair. The genius was slightly shocked that Shino would sit down with him and his client, but it wasn't as astounding as what sat down beside his client. "Who's the girl?" Shikamaru nearly mumbled. Surely she couldn't be too much trouble, after all she was sitting next to Tamari, who was lecturing him on his laziness, so nothing could make it worse, right? "Yeah, she has glasses like you. Is she an Abiram?" Tamari asked, looking at the girl. Despite how she acted around everyone, she really did care for children and other girly things, however, due to who her father and brother were plus her mom died, so she had to be tough. To review this mathematically provable equation, 4th Kazakajgara plus dead mom equals mean Tamari. "No, Uncle Shino is just going to show me the Abiram clan house. I'm an Abiram in all but blood though." Hana piped up. "So lady, is Smokestack your husband?" Shikamaru looked down at the cigarette he held in his mouth. Surely he didn't smoke that much. He smoked to honor Asuma's death. He put it out. "I'm not a smokestack," he said calmly. "And he isn't my husband, boyfriend, or anything else of that nature," Tamari said. Sure, she had thought of him like that one time, but hey, it was hormones, and only that. "Is that a fan?" Shino asked. Calculating by nature, Abirams knew their opponent's weakness before they went into any battle. "Yes, you know that already, right?" Tamari said. She was pretty sure that he knew that. "Okay, Fanny," Hana said. She didn't understand what happened next, but she was pretty sure that this lady was evil, with which Shikamaru would agree completely. What happened was, Shino smirked as his plan came into full effect. Shikamaru looked for an exit and almost ran for it. Tamari's reaction, however, was not foreseen by quite a few people. "Please, dear, don't call me that." "Okay," she said in a deathly quiet voice. "Okay," Hana said. "What do I call you?" "Call me Tamari." "Call him," she said, voice back to normal, motioning towards Shikamaru's sloth. "Okay." "Don't call me sloth," Shikamaru said. He was really starting to get irritated with this girl. "Smokestack." "No." "Pineapple." "No." "Lazy." "No," he said. Some anger had seeped into his voice. "Dumb." "No." "Nerdy." "No, damn it," he said, getting up and storming off. Tamari stood up. "Is it just me or is he cute when he's angry?" She then ran off to catch up to Shikamaru. "Well, Hana," Shino said, "better get out of here before the owner comes to collect the money." He noticed that neither Shikamaru or Tamari had paid the bill. "Okay, Uncle Shino," Hana said, running out of the establishment. Honestly, the energy the 7-year-old had was inexplicable at times. The walk through the streets of Konoha towards the Abiram clan house. The little detour with Inara had taken more time than they really had to waste. Walking up to a window, Shino saw something that nearly scarred him. Inside was his dad. Nothing wrong with it, just a dad. Shino wished this was it, but there was more. His dad was dressed up like Michael Jackson for the Beat It video and was actually doing the dance with bug clones. Hana just walked in before knocking. The Abiram had a honored tradition of knocking before entering a room. Coincidentally, this rule came out just about the time that Shibi, Shino's dad, became clan head. "Hi." Shibi stopped immediately and dispersed the clones. "Hello, you must be Hana that my son told me about." "Yeah." "Hey mister, that dance you were doing was cool," Hana said. Shibi allowed a small smile to appear on his face. 15 minutes later, Hana, Shibi, and a bunch of Shibi clones were dancing to Thriller while Shino watched horrified. Even he wouldn't have dared think that this would have happened. As the music stopped, Shibi stopped and looked at Hana. "If only you were a little older, I'd have my son date you," he said quietly. "Dad, she's 7. Shino said, alarmed. "I said if she were older." Shibi defended himself. "You're funny, Buggy," Hana yelled loudly. "Thank you, little girl." "Shino, does she have to go home soon?" Shibi said in a tone close to that of a little kid, asking if they had to stop playing with their friends and go to do something boring. "Yes, Dad, in about 25 minutes to be precise," Shino said. He hadn't thought that his dad of all people would like Hana. "Yeah, I gotta go home with Daddy," Hana said. 25 minutes? Shibi asked Shino. "Yes. Enough time to learn bad then," Shibi said as he ran to go get a different CD. 25 minutes later. Shino was amazed. The last performance was spectacular. Hana had learned the dance extremely fast. Shino was sad that it had to end. Hana, we really should be getting you back home to your father. Already? Came from both Shibi and Hana. Shibi left towards the door and before he left the room he turned back and said, this never happened. Come back anytime. Then he left. Hana and Shino walked through the darkening streets of Konoha. The walk to the Aburam house was long for civilians, of which Hana was. They spent this time asking questions about each other. Shino gave out very little of his past, Hana gave out even less. They saw Naruto waiting near Ichiraku. Daddy? Hana yelled and ran up to hug him. Did you have fun? Naruto asked. Hana gave a vague answer about her stay as they walked home. Bye Uncle Shino. Farewell. Shino said. He was going home to shower. Then when he was sure everyone was asleep, he too would practice his Michael Jackson dance. Uzumaki, Naruto's dream. Standing in a circular office overlooking Konohagakaru, the Hokage looked out the window. It had taken a while to get to this position. No one really understood the motives behind it, however after the battle with the ivory-haired beast, no one had even sought to question the motives. After all, if one vanquished such a beast no one would question you for quite some time. Even if he suggested that they destroy Hokage Mountain because he didn't like the color, he could fully expect to be obeyed. He grinned as he spotted one of his favorite sights in the village, Ichiraku Ramen. He had eaten here many times before, so many no one even had a clue. He decided to take a break from doing paperwork, instead he was going to work on his record. A plaque was mounted in the restaurant to tread most bowls eaten. 14:05 Uzumaki, Naruto fastest bowl of ramen. 20 seconds Uzumaki, Naruto. As it should be, Naruto thought. Sitting down he ordered a bowl. Daddy? What the? Naruto thought. He didn't have children. A giant shadow formed in front of his eyes. No longer was he in Ichiraku, he was now in an arena. What the? He barely had time to say before Hyuga, Hinata appeared before him. Hello, Naruto-kun. She said. Oh, thank goodness. Hinata, what's going on? Naruto asked desperately. Nothing you won't like, Hokage-sama, she said, stressing the last two words as she started unzipping her jacket. What the? Naruto said as the scenery again changed. Sitting in a corner of a colorless room was Deidara. Oh, finally you're here, he said. Yes, he's a guy. Do I know you? Naruto asked, happy for some peace. Not really, Tried to kill each other though, Deidara said as if he were talking about the weather. So, why are you here? Naruto asked. Fox, called me here for some reason. Deidara said in his small talk voice. Oh. What's it like being dead? Naruto asked. No clue, If there is a deity, they wiped my memory, if not, then I'm just a figure of your imagination. Deidara said, looking as if he had gotten to a point. Now my explosion, was it wonderful, he asked, his eyes lighting up. I bet it was fantastic, a real blast, really big, probably didn't get your teacher though, no, he's too good for that I bet. How was it, Kakashi-sensei confined it to another dimension. Naruto said, recounting what he remembered. Deidara seemed to shrink. But, even then it was big. A real blast, Naruto said quickly. Alright, Deidara shouted, seeming to grow in stature. So, why are you here? Naruto asked. Like I know. Deidara said, seeming to think back on his explosion and how wonderful it must have been. Just tell me. Naruto exclaimed angrily. He was tired of beating around the bush. Talk to the hand. Deidara said, holding up his right hand. Hi. My Namiso, I'm so nervous around strangers. The hand said. How can you talk? Naruto asked, astonished. It's a dream, Deidara said. He smiled a little. Really? Pretty much, Deidara replied, reaching into his cloak he pulled out a little statue made of clay. The statue was a miniature Hana. Don't let it go to waste, he continued as he threw it to Naruto. Thanks. Naruto mumbled. It really did look just like Hana except it was all the same color. Don't worry about it, Making it was he paused, smiling low to fun. Haha, you thought it was going to explode. Hehehe, Naruto laughed sarcastically. He really did think it would have exploded. So wanna play kickball? Deidara asked. Why? I'm bored, Been dead a while. Deidara said, shrugging. We don't have a bowler goals though. Naruto said. It's a dream, just dream up your players and I'll tell you mine, then you dream them up. Deidara stated. Then. Naruto said. He could tell this would be awkward. Hyuga, Hanabi's dream. Young Hyuga Hanabi never wanted much in life. No, she preferred the land of dreams, where no one would ever mock you for not being strong. Nobody ever feared you for being a Hyuga. Here she could be herself and not worry about being mocked, feared, hated, or liked. She dreamt of things no one else did. While others would dream of getting married to a prince or something of that sort, Hanabi dreamed of having a normal life. She never did care much about meetings or things of that nature. Being powerful was okay, but what Hanabi really wanted more than anything was to have a normal friend. She didn't want a perfect friend, she wanted a friend that she could talk to, one that would disappoint her when she gave them a secret. Many nights while most people dreamed of a fantasy world, Hyuga Hanabi dreamed of a normal one. Hanabi awoke in her apartment with a start. She opened her teal eyes to another day with a headache. I thought I got rid of that a week ago, she thought as she walked towards her shower. After a brief washing she got dressed in plain clothes. Wonder if he's gonna come into work again today, Hanabi said aloud, a slight blush on her cheeks. She worked in a pet store. She earned a average wage and got along with a few of her co-workers. The others couldn't stand her. Hanabi worked the counter all day long. Hey Hanabi, are you available Friday? Konohamaru asked. He was her only pursuer. Every day he'd ask for a date and every day she'd turn him down. No Konohamaru-san. Hanabi said annoyed. Still waiting for dog breath to come in. Konohamaru said, his voice laced with acid. Don't call Kiba-kun that. Hanabi said blushing slightly. He's only come in twice, he doesn't even know you. Konohamaru said angrily. Sick him, Hanabi said lightly. She had trained all the dogs in the place to attack Konohamaru when she said this. Damn it. Konohamaru yelled as he ran from the dogs of the store. None of them were big enough to really hurt him. But it was still unpleasant to get bitten. That'll learn him. Hanabi said as a bell rang signaling that customer had entered the shop. Hey, do you have dog food? A voice said. Of course sir, we have. Hanabi trailed off seeing it was her crush. In real life Hanabi had talked to him once or twice and unlike her sister, Hanabi didn't take pictures. No, that's what video cameras are for. Oh hey. It's you, Kiba said sounding surprised. You were the clerk last time I came in, right? Umis, sir. Hanabi said blushing. So you got dog food right? Kiba said in a tone that clearly stated that he had forgotten about his earlier question. Yes sir, it's over there. She stated pointing to the dog aisle where Konohamaru was defending himself within a fort of dog food bags. Thanks. He said waving over his shoulder as he took a chunk of Konohamaru's fort with him. Hanabi just stared after him. She dreams of an average life with average problems. In the real world Hanabi smiled slightly at her failure, for though it was a failure, no one yelled at her for messing up. Hyuga, Hiashi's dream. It was a rainy day at the funeral. All the Hyugas had gathered for his wife's passing party, as she had put it in her final hour. Hyuga Hiashi cried the whole time, no one noticed through the rain. He wasn't a cold-hearted jerk as many believed. He had a childish side and his wife had accepted him for it. He had 2 daughters now. He really did want them to have the best life they could have. His wife had died during childbirth because of an injury received during her last mission. If only she were a little stronger she would have made it, he thought sadly. He couldn't believe it. She was gone. He had named her daughter after her. Hyuga Hanabi was now in 2 placed. One in the grave and one in my arms. He thought. She wouldn't be out here for long. The funeral would last only another half hour at the most. Look well Hanabi, this will be the last time you see her, he said to his daughter between sobs. No one heard them, the rain was hard making a loud pitter-patter noise. His other daughter, Hinata, was staring at the casket with tears in her eyes. I'll probably lose her next, or my brother's kid, or Hanabi, he thought, picturing them each being killed at the hands of a shadowy ninja. No. I won't allow it. He thought with determination as he pictured these deaths. They'll get stronger. Even if it makes them hate me, they'll be strong enough to live. He then turned to little Hinata and for the first time in his life yelled at her, stop crying. It's weakness to cry. He said through his own tears. Little Hinata just cried harder, but she began but never finished. No crying. He yelled. He could barely stomach it, he didn't want to have to do it. It's for her own good, and from that day on he did everything for his family's own good. Hyuga, Hinata's dream. Hyuga Hinata was shy. Dreadfully so. She has a crush on Uzumaki, Naruto, who is the opposite of her in many respects. She strives to be like him. Despite her shyness she was also, for lack of better words, insane. Childhood crush turned to blind devotion through the years. She loved Naruto for who he was and despised anyone who hurt him until they atoned for their sins. Like most teenagers she thought of murdering someone once or twice, or in this case several thousand. Also like most teenagers these were just fantasy speculations. Shy, meek Hyuga Hinata dreamed of 2 things: her precious Naruto-kun and harming those who had harmed him. The dungeon is a dark, dank, and scary place. With many implements of torture they were often the last thing people saw before the gallows. Screams punctured the air as lava was poured on a group of chunin. Every 5 feet was a picture of a blonde-headed kid with whisker-like marks on his face. The cacophony of sound was like music to Hinata's ears. Dismembered arms on a rack, bodies impaled on spikes, and most importantly a mural of the blonde god she worshipped. Sure, saving his gum was a bit excessive, but that's the closest she had come to kissing him. Hinata left them aiming and torture to cage Bunshin's shadow clones. Very few had left this dungeon, among them were Hyuga, Neji Haddock, Kakashi Rock Lee, and Haruno Sakura. The last one was on the verge of re-entering the dungeon however. How Hinata knew of Kakashi's and Lee's fight with Naruto is a mystery to many. However, Hinata had her sources. Exiting this area, she walked into a hall filled to the brim with pictures of Naruto. Hinata smiled as the scenery changed. This too was a room she frequented in her dreams. A slightly different kind of torture occurred here, pleasurable for her and to some extent the captive. Opening a heavy wooden door, a bundle covered in ropes with a gag in his mouth started screaming through the cloth in hope someone would hear him. "Sorry Naruto-kun, no one here to interrupt us tonight," she said smiling as she removed the gag. The instant it was removed he was yelling. "What the hell? Every night. What in the," he started only to be cut off by her kissing him hard. Now Naruto-kun, is that any way to speak to me?" she said in a voice somewhere between sadistic and seductive. "Help." He yelled as loud as he could in vain. In the real world, one Hyuga, Hinata was smiling as she blushed. For at least on one front she could be like her Naruto-kun. Hyuga, Neji's dream. Neji walked through a toy store. He didn't know why he did this every day but he did. He would pick up something and mess with it for a while before moving on to the next thing that caught his interest. Being raised in such a strict environment he never did have much time for play. He was in all reality afraid of it. He was not sure how to handle being a child. He did have a couple of favorites in his dreams. The teddy bear that he often dressed up as a ninja was just like the one he had when he was little. He also favored playing with a soundboard designed to teach kids the sound that animals make. His favorite sound by far was that the duck says quack. Here he could be as childish as he wanted and no one would do anything. He did have a playmate every once in a while in his dreamland. He and Naruto played football a bit once, another time he lost horribly to Shikamaru in checkers, and his favorite by far had occurred a few days ago in fact. He was reliving that dream again tonight. "More tea, Mr. Teddykins?" Neji asked his teddy bear as he poured tea into a cup on the floor. "This is Fluffernutters want some too." Hana yelled pointing at a female doll the size of Hoshigaki, "Kiss him." "But of course." Neji said walking over while adjusting his bonnet. In the real world, Hyuga Neji sighed as his dreams became ever more childish before dissolving into nothing but sight and colors. Uzumaki, Hana's dream. Hana ran towards her house. It was a slightly breezy summer day. Hana was just 5 years old at the time. She lived alone with her mother for her father had fled the village a year after she was born, leaving behind only a note which Hana now kept on her person at all times. She ran in and shouted, "Mama, I found a pretty flower." She paused for a response. When none came she went into the kitchen to see if she was there. Blood was everywhere on the counter, the table, the butcher knife still stuck in the bleeding back of a headless corpse. Hana screamed as it all went blank. "Ah!" Hana screamed as she awoke. She was crying hard. She went into Naruto's room a short way away and crawled in bed with him. Hugging him as if he could drive away the dreams. Within minutes she was asleep again. This time she was dreaming of pleasant things like her daddy and tomato. She really was happy now but every now and then she still thought of her mother's headless corpse. Bodhya-san issue 203. A voice yelled outside of Naruto's apartment window. It sounded oddly muffled. Naruto groggily awoke. Little light shone from outside. In the darkness Naruto could barely make out Hana's form, laying next to him gently sleeping. "Why is someone yelling this early?" Naruto said as he got up to tell the one who was yelling to kindly put a sock in it. He turned the knob and applied a bit of pressure. The door didn't budge. Did someone lock me in again? Naruto thought. This had happened before once or twice. Naruto put a bit more pressure on the door with no more response than the first time. Screw this, Naruto thought as he pushed with all his might against the door. Bodhya-san issue 203. The voice yelled as the door sped open. AHHH. Naruto yelled, shielding his eyes from the bright sun falling down in the process. How can it be this late and still be dark inside? Naruto thought, rolling on the ground in pain. Naruto. The voice said as a shadow fell on Naruto, providing enough shade for Naruto to open his eyes. Lee. Naruto nearly shouted as he saw Lee in all of his youthful glory. As his eyes adjusted, Naruto noticed that everywhere there was at least one poster saying "Vote Yes" on issue 203. "Are you okay?" Lee asked, helping Naruto to his feet. "Yes, Lee, what are you doing?" Naruto inquired, the jumpsuit-wearing youth enthusiast. "I'm raising awareness of issue 203, it's going to be voted on today by the council," Lee said with his eyes closed. "Oh. What is issue 203? Naruto continued. "Issue 203 is my challenge towards Tsunade's proclamation that I have to take training easily. I know when I take things too far. Lee said with hate in his voice at the word easily. You mustn't having so many posters on my doors and windows that I think it's midnight a bit too far. Naruto asked gesturing to his door which was only visible because of the many tears in the posters of that area. Erratic. Lee yelled and kicked Naruto in the shin as he ran off no doubt to put up more posters. Naruto fell down due to the force of the kick. Again I say a bit much. He said through pain. Daddy? A drowsy voice came from nearby. Huh? Naruto grunted looking towards the noise. When he saw Hana rubbing sleep out of her eyes with the back of her hand while clutching his nightcap to her chest, he got up quickly. What are you doing? She asked handing him the cap. Well Hana, Daddy just had to take care of something Hana. How old are you? Naruto asked. I'm 7. Why Daddy? Hana asked. You're old enough to enroll in the academy. He said thoughtfully then added, do you want to be a shinobi Hana? Will I be able to see Tomoto and Akama more? Hana asked. Yeah I suppose. You might even be assigned into one of their squads when you're old enough. Also Shino is a ninja. Naruto said as soon as Uncle Shino came up though Hana was already running to get dressed. Iruka was having a great day. Already 9 and no one was later absent. The whole school has been great. Today just can't get any better. He said aloud. Iruka-sensei. A voice yelled from outside his door. Poke him in. Iruka had barely started when the door was opened. Naruto. What are you doing here? Come back to learn how to knock politely? Iruka joked. He was always happy to see Naruto now that he had so many missions. They barely saw each other anymore. Is this him? A little girl who Iruka had never seen before asked. Yeah. This Hana is Yumino Iruka-sensei, if you're accepted he'll probably teach you everything you need to know. Naruto said wisely. A new student? Why would Naruto bring in a new student unless his Iruka started doing calculations in his head? He arrived at a figure that he didn't like. By the looks of it this girl had to be 7, 6 if you pushed it. Grabbing a baddie kept for bad students Iruka bopped Naruto on the head. You're too young to have sex now. So what the hell gave you the idea that it was okay back then? Iruka yelled hitting Naruto with each word. Iruka-sensei, she's adopted. Naruto yelled through the pain several lumps already forming. Oh well then what can I do for you? Iruka asked sitting back down. He seems a bit batty Hana thought to herself. Well I want to fill out the forms to get Hana into school. Naruto stated. Very well here they are. Iruka said dropping a stack of papers as tall as Hana on top of his desk. He flipped a pen at Naruto and signaled for him to start signing. Artheseat? Naruto asked fearing how much his hand would hurt when he finished. Of course not. Iruka laughed. These are the forms to get the student form. Yep just sign these and then sign one more and you're done. Okay then. Naruto sighed as he approached his worst enemy yet. So what will I do here? Hana asked in a meek voice. She really didn't want to get the bat. Iruka turned towards her. Well nothing too difficult. We'll teach you jutsu, chakra manipulation, and some minor taijutsu skills. He said smiling. What's a jutsu? What's chakra? What's taijutsu? What does nothing mean? What's your mother's maiden name? Can I call you baddie? These and more questions spouted from Hana's mouth and each one was even farther away from the original topic. However Iruka answered each and every one. Iruka-sensei when you say mother's maiden name is it mine or hers? Cause I don't know either of them. Naruto yelled from his paperwork. Just put unknown. Iruka yelled back as he went back to answering Hana's questions. 20 minutes later. Iruka-sensei. Wonderful. Just sign this Iruka said showing Naruto a small slip of paper saying I give permission to enroll in Konoha school signed. A few marks of a pen later. Thanks, Iruka-sensei. Naruto said taking Hana to go get her school supplies. Remember she starts Monday. That's the day after tomorrow. Iruka said waving them off. In the Hyuga manor at that moment. Neji was in his room looking over his planning board. He made plans early and often and readjusted them to make sure they worked to the peak of perfection. True that most of them were just jokes some of them had actually come to fruition. Neji Nai-san. What are you doing? Hinata asked as she walked into her cousin's room. Hinata-chan. Just the person I wanted to see. Neji said as he strode over to her and pushed her into the room. What's on the B-board? Hinata stuttered as she saw the board. Delighted you asked. You see cousin, I have plans for this world. If any of those are to come to fruition I need a team that can help me. The plan you see here involves you to a great extent. I have signed up for a genin tutoring program in which I will train gifted or late starting shinobi. I need you to convince Naruto to allow Hana to be on my team. Neji said calmly. But why? Hinata asked. She thought that Neji hated Hana. Because in order to diffuse her incessant questions and energy, she needs to be around students of a colder nature. Naruto however won't trust me enough to get his daughter into this program, which is again where you come in. Alone. Hinata inquired in a small voice. Of course not, Hinata-chan, this plan has been in motion since this morning. There were 2 teams in on it really. Team 1 consisted of Lee, Guy, Haruka, and Weird Al Yankovic, a visiting musician. Team 2 will consist of you, me, and unknowingly Naruto. Team 1 has done their job. Lee was under the impression that issue on his training was on the agenda of the council and that they were going vote on it. He, being Lee, put up thousands upon thousands of posters, prompting citizens to vote no on it. This also prompted Naruto to come outside. Guy was convinced that Naruto was in trouble, so he chased down Lee and made him take down all the posters. This left me open to sneak Mr. Al into Tsunede's office in order to perform for her. This distracted her enough so that she hasn't noticed that Hana's recommendation has been placed into her paperwork. Now this is where Team 2 comes in. If you are able to convince Naruto that Hana should be put with me then. Then what? Hinata asked. She really wanted to know if this would hurt Naruto. I'll tell you when you complete your assignment. Neji said as he ushered her out of the room. 3 knocks sounded at the door, causing Naruto to wake from his dream. As he got up to answer the door he heard voices from the outside. But the first voice whined but was interrupted by the second voice. No. You must apologize. The second voice nearly bellowed. But, she'll interrupt training. The first voice whined again. You should have thought about that before you kicked him. Naruto had a pretty good idea who it was and what they wanted. I don't want to, but if I don't they'll probably bust down the door. He thought as he opened the door. Naruto, how's life treating you? Youthfully I should hope. Guy said striking a pose. He then shot Lee who stood beside him looking ashamed. Sorry about kicking you yesterday Naruto. Lee mumbled quietly. It's okay Lee. Hurt like a Naruto started but was interrupted. No. Guy yelled it is not okay. Youth will not allow it. Lee must make it up to you. And just how will he do this? Naruto asked yawning. By allowing Hana to train with us of course. She is entering the academy, correct? Guy paused for only a second before continuing. So if she trains with Taijutsu specialists such as my team, she will catch up and, dare I say it, surpass the rest of her class. Guy said. Well I suppose. She is probably behind on her Taijutsu after all. So I'll get today off then. Naruto paused and when Guy nodded okay then just make sure she's back before 7, okay? Deal. Don't worry she'll love it. Guy chuckled. Yes Naruto, she will be back at 7 sharp, if not I'll do 1000 push-ups. Lee proclaimed coming back to life. He was never one to back down from a challenge. Excellent idea Lee. I will, however, up the stakes, if she's not back by 7 sharp, I'll do 2000 push-ups. Guy shouted loudly. This continued while Naruto went to wake Hana up and get her ready for her first day of training. Hey, daddy, who are these 2? Hana shouted when she saw Guy and Lee yelling about something called a push-up. I'm Guy, I'll be your sensei for the day. This is Lee, Guy said pointing to Lee, and he's doing this for punishment. Okay, Midori-sensei. She said facing Guy. She then turned to Lee who was looking expectantly back at her. You have funny eyebrows. His are better. Hana commented. But Lee began but was immediately interrupted by Guy. We are nearly late for training. He yelled as he picked Hana up and started running. Lee just gave Naruto an apologetic look before following his sensei. A day, here I come. Naruto said before closing his door. Lee, and Hana arrived at the training ground with only 6 seconds left before the deadline. Even though most teams stopped meeting up as often after all of the members became jounin, Guy had insisted on training together. The training had paid off greatly, so neither Neji nor Tenten had objected. The comma was the first indication that today was going to be bad for Neji. Oh no. No, 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 no. He muttered. If it was for his plan and he had control of the situation, he had no problems with seeing Hana. However when he has no control of the situation he would rather not see her. Hey, Midori-sensei, is she on the team too? Hana asked glancing at Tenten. Yes, I'm on the team. I'm guessing you're Hana. Tenten said. Not nearly as bad as Neji described her, nor nearly as great as Guy-sensei made her sound. She thought observing the girl. Hello Miss Baker. Hana yelled at Tenten. Miss Baker? My name's Tenten. The weapons enthusiast pointed out. Tenten-san I believe that she is talking about your wonderful buns. Lee said loudly. Thanks Lee, yours are nice too. Tenten said blushing slightly. But Tenten-san, I do not have my hair in a similar style. Lee said not catching the flirtation. Baka. Tenten mumbled. Baka is Japanese for idiot. Alright team, I hate to cut the conversation Guy started before he realized his mistake. Cut. Tenten asked with a gleam in her eye. What's she doing? Hana asked as Tenten pulled out a small knife. I picked up a log and threw it a short distance from Tenten. Well for some reason Tenten's flames of youth burn brightest when the C word is said in her vicinity. If not for my quick thinking, she'd begin cutting the nearest thing to shreds, which is usually herself, so we just don't say it here. Guy explained as Tenten started to cut up the log, chuckling and saying cut over and over with increasing vigor. Sensei, are we going to be idiots all day or are we going to train? Neji asked coldly. Well, I had us scheduled for being idiots today, but since Hana's here, you and Lee can stretch while I get her into some proper training attire. Come on Hana, that kimono will never do. Guy said in a sage-like tone. At around 5 o'clock Naruto was sitting on a kitchen chair. He couldn't wait to just hang out. Ah, this is the life, nothing planned, no intrusions, and best of all no paperwork. Naruto thought while reclining slightly more into the chair. Suddenly there was a faint knock on the door. He decided to ignore it for a bit. After about 5 seconds of faint knocking, Naruto decided to see who was knocking. He got up and opened the door. Oh, hello and Naruto-kun. Hinata said looking away from him to hide her darkening face. Oh no, it was supposed to be Hana who answered. Hinata thought her plan failing before it began. Oh hello Hinata. What do you want? Naruto asked oblivious to her blush. IW was going to if Hana wanted to go eat again, kinda like the other time, at Ichiraku's. Hinata stuttered while poking her fingers together, remembering their first date. During which Naruto had carried her home because she had fainted, while Hana was out doing something with Shino. Oh. Well, she went training with Guy Sensei and his team. I know, I'll go eat with ya, we going to Ichiraku's agent? Naruto asked while Hinata's blush got darker and darker. Another date. But this time without Hana. It will be like a real date. Hinata thought slowly. Surely this can't be real. She barely heard herself say yes before she was whisked out of the doorway by Naruto dragging her by the wrist to the ramen shop. Gucci was bewildered when he saw Naruto with a girl in his shop again, no less it being Hyuga, Hinata. Hey Naruto, on another family outing? He asked getting ready to cook up a storm. No, just me and Hinata today. Naruto said as he promptly ordered miso pork ramen. So it's a date? Tucci asked nonchalantly. You're on a date. A second voice yelled from around the back. Appearing with a trail of dust behind her, AM immediately started bombarding Hinata with questions. How did this happen? How long has it been going on? Are you engaged? Am I invited to the wedding? What are the children's names? Am I asking too many questions? What would you like to eat? What time is it? How's Neji doing? Where's Hana? Naruto just chuckled as AM stopped talking. It's not a date, just a friendly lunch. She just showed up wanting to eat with Hana. I decided to go with her since Hana was gone. About 3 minutes. No children. Yes. I don't know. No clue. Why? With Guy Sensei. He then started stuffing his face with ramen again. Guy Sensei, you didn't? Tenten said astounded. Headed. Neji pointed out in a similar state of shock. Hana was standing next to Guy. Both of them were wearing green jumpsuits and standing stiff upright with their right arms thrust straight out while giving the 3 other jounin present a thumbs up. Ready to train Hana? Guy asked, dropping the pose. Yes, Midori-sensei. Hana yelled. Yes. Let us burn with the flames of youth. Guy yelled. As always, Midori-sensei. Hana shouted. Hana. Guy called. Midori-sensei. Hana responded. Hana. Guy repeated. Midori-sensei. Hana shouted. Lee sniffled. He remembered when he and Guy used to do that. Of course. We must get to training. Guy said as if breaking out of a trance. Okay everyone, stop what you were doing and listen up. He yelled, getting their attention. Now Lee, take Hana and give her the basics of Taijutsu. Tenten, you practice throwing multiple weapons at a single target. What of me, sensei? Neji asked. What is the most powerful force on earth? Guy asked the prodigy. Youth? Neji guessed. As you were. Guy said, smiling. Back at the ramen shop, Naruto had tried repetitively to beat Hana's record of fastest bowl of ramen eaten. He failed every time. Hinata sat in the next chair amused by the sight. I do believe that you are, as the kids say, losing miserably. Kyuubi said somewhere around the 9th attempt. True, but I will win. No one beats me at eating ramen. Naruto yelled in his head. If we were competing, I would demolish you. I'd also eat faster. Kyuubi chuckled. But you could eat 1,000 gallons of the stuff in one bite. It's not fair. Naruto whined at the demon. Chalk 1 up to demons. The score I believe is around 1,009,076 1,009,076 to 99, Kyuubi stated. Although in all reality, even I have to admit, it is not fair competition. And then Naruto-kun, when will Hana need be picked up? Hinata inquired quietly. Oh, in about an hour. Naruto stated, going back to his ramen. Oh okay. Hinata mumbled under her breath, smiling. Yay. Another whole hour with Naruto-kun. How was that, old man? Naruto asked Tucci. 2 seconds too slow. He bluntly stated. Damn. I can't beat it. Naruto cried out. Maybe if why you didn't use chopsticks it would work better. Hinata suggested. Maybe. Naruto said, thinking it over. One more bowl, old man. Here you go, just don't get too messy with it. Tucci warned. Alright. Naruto said, slamming his face into the bowl, eating at the dish with a vigor unknown to many. Then Naruto-kun, Hinata breathed. She was enjoying this more than she should have and she knew it. How was that? Naruto's his face smeared with bits of food. You beat it by 2 seconds. Now about your bill. Tucci stated. I'll get it, Tucci-san, Hinata mumbled. Thanks, Hinata. Hey, if you ever need anything just ask, okay, I sure do owe you one. Naruto said, readjusting his headband. Alright, you two, I hate to kick you out, however it's Ix. If what you told me is correct, Hana needs to be pried from the jaws of youth. Am chuckled. But, if he eats more I'll get more money. Tucci protested. Nah. We gotta get Hana before Guy-sensei gets her to do something weird. Naruto stated as he got up to leave. Hinata followed suit. At the training grounds, Guy-sensei, you didn't. Naruto said, his mouth wide open. Ah, but he did. Neji called over from where he was sitting. Daddy. Hana cried as she rushed towards Naruto with speed that no one would expect from a 7-year-old. As soon as she reached him she tackled him to the ground. Ah, Naruto, Hana has performed beyond anything I would have expected. Guy said, walking up to the duo. Okay, Hana, we need to go home to get you ready for bed, okay? Naruto stated, getting up. It had taken them an hour to get to the training ground due to the fact that they got lost a few times. You start the academy tomorrow. Yes. Getting plenty of rest causes your youth to expand. Guy proclaimed. Okay then, Neji, you want to tag along? I'm going to walk Hinata home. Naruto asked. No thank you, Naruto, I have important training to do. Neji said, watching Tenten bash Lee in the head because he was being a baka. They arrived at the Hyuga manor at 8 o'clock. As soon as it was in sight, Hana yelled out to a guard, hey mister, why do you look like a girl? I assure you, I am a male. The guard responded. But you have long hair. Hana pointed out. Hana, stay here with your new friend while I take Hinata up to the door, okay? Naruto more asked than commanded. Okay. But you have pretty eyes. She stated, causing the guard to sigh. Thanks for today and Naruto-kun. Hinata stuttered, blushing slightly. You're welcome, I had fun today. Don't forget, if you need anything at all, just ask. Naruto said when they arrived at the door. Actually there is something I'd like. Hinata said, her blush darkening. Really? What is it? Naruto asked, happy to be able to pay her back. Hug. Hinata mumbled just loud enough for Naruto to hear. Alrighty then, your favor. Naruto said as he hugged her tightly. Why hug though? He asked during the embrace. No, our reason. She stuttered, causing it to be hard to understand. Well, I gotta go. Feel free to drop by anytime. Naruto said, releasing the blushing girl. Goodbye, Naruto-kun. Hinata said, smiling. Happy that she had hugged her crush without fainting, and also because he practically invited her back to visit. See you around. Naruto said, walking back to Hana and the gourd, who was still arguing that he was a he and not a she as she had commented. Come on, Hana, time to go home and go to bed. Bye, lady. Hana called back to the guard, who just made a rude hand gesture and went back to patrolling. So what did you and Tomato do today? Oh, this and that. Oh, and Hana. Naruto said. Yes, daddy. Hana inquired, shifting her Aburam glasses on her forehead that she had gotten from Uncle Shino a few days prior. Please tell me you're not going to grow really bushy eyebrows. Hana. Naruto said, shaking the soundly sleeping girl. She asked, awakening slowly. It's time for your first day of school, Kay? Naruto asked a drowsy girl. School? Hana screamed at the top of her lungs, running towards the door. Naruto jumped in front of her, stopping her mere feet from the door. Wait, you have to get dressed first. He mumbled, being trampled is never fun, even when it's only a 7-year-old. Getting dressed. She yelled, heading towards the bathroom. Can I wear my suit? She asked. Sure, why not? Naruto said, shrugging. Yay. She exclaimed as she went to get dressed. Meanwhile, at the main Aburam house, Shino's family. Shino woke at exactly 6 a.m. as he did every morning. Today is my day to cook breakfast. He thought as he put on his sunglasses. Down in the kitchen, his dad was reading a newspaper. Father, eggs? He asked shortly, out of politeness. Eat it? Shibi said, not looking up. He was indicating the way he wanted his eggs. No. Shino replied as he turned on the oven. Dad? Shibi retorted sourly. Anything happen? Shino asked, looking at his father. Man in the mirror. Shibi said, pointing to an article that told about a man who was flung into a mirror by his enraged wife. Shino handed his dad some toast. Any good? Thriller. Shibi replied sarcastically. Never mind. Shino said as he went back to cooking. I should make lunch for Hana. Knowing Naruto, he'll forget. At the academy. Hey daddy, who are these other people? Hana asked. They're your classmates, or at least most of them are. Naruto shrugged. Now I gotta go, I have a mission today. I'm going to pick you up after school, K? Okay daddy. Hana said as she ran off to bother the nearest person. I wonder how she's going to do. Naruto mumbled to himself. Me too. A voice from behind Naruto said in an emotionless tone. Ah. Naruto screamed. Sai, what do you want? Naruto asked panting. Well, I am here to tell you that you have a mission. Do not worry, an alternate transport has been set aside for your daughter. The pale artist said, walking off. I hate it when he does that. Naruto said to himself. When who does what? Sai said from behind Naruto. Ah. But, yeah, over there. Naruto asked in surprise. Clones are nice, eh? Sai said, walking off. I suppose I should get to my mission then, huh? Naruto asked no one in particular. Yes. Came an emotionless voice from behind Naruto. What the hell? Naruto asked, turning around to face the owner of the voice. I'm pretty sure that is no way to speak to an old friend. The owner of the voice, who turned out to be Gaara, said. I heard that you had a child and decided to come and see for myself. You really should go. We'll catch up when you're done with your mission. Okay then, see you Gaara. Naruto yelled over his shoulder as he ran to the Hokage's office to receive his mission. I really do wonder how he beat me all those years ago. Gaara said, watching Naruto's retreating figure. Me too. Came Sai's voice from behind the pale redhead. You're the one that insulted Naruto, correct? Gaara asked the artist. I am. Sai replied. Half a second passed. Then for the first time in a long while, Sai fled in fear. Inside the academy. Hello kids, my name is Iruka and I'll be your sensei for the next however long it takes. Iruka said, chuckling to himself. Hey, Betty sensei. Hana yelled in the back. Hana, please sit down. Now Iruka started but stopped as two boys started talking in the front. As soon as they stopped he said, no, please continue, I would hate to interrupt your important conversation. Okay then, as I was saying, the kid with brown hair started before he was hit square in the head by a bat. He fell on the floor unconscious and bleeding badly. The other kids just stared at Iruka. Oh, crap. Iruka said, looking from the kid to the bat. Iruka sensei, I think you hurt him bad. A girl only feet away who had some blood on her said. She had purple hair. She was about Hana's height with small circular glasses that flashed when she looked at the boy. She wore a plain white shirt and light gray pants. Man, my bat's all bloody. Now I'm gonna have to clean it and repaint it. This is going to be a pain. Iruka said, examining his precious equipment. I don't think he's breathing. The girl said, leaning over the boy. Oh. Sorry, he doesn't look too good right now. Iruka said, examining the boy's prone form. Roll him over. Okay sensei. The girl said as she rolled the kid over. His eyes were closed and he had blood all over his face. Wait a minute. Crap. He dented my bat. Now I'm gonna have to get a new one. Iruka mumbled, looking at the slight dent in the bat. I think someone should take him to the hospital. The girl suggested while trying to stop the bleeding as best a 7-year-old could. Well, I think we should just keep going with class. Understand class that if you become ninja that no one is going to baby you anymore. Iruka said, still examining his bat. But there are medical ninja in most squads. The girl pointed out. Good point. I'll take him to the hospital then. No one leave the room. Iruka said, picking the boy up and walked away, mumbling about blood on my good shirt. Hey you. Hana yelled at the girl from 3 feet away. Yes? She asked. What's your name? Hana asked, closing the distance between them. It's Tenahira, Kasuri. I'm going to be the best medical ninja of all time. Kasuri said in a tone that could be considered condescending, but it was more than likely just a 7-year-old's way of trying to sound mature. Hey look, a bird. So what was your name? Hana asked, tearing her attention from the bird. Kasuri's face grew red in anger. I was talking, you know. She shouted. And who, may I ask, are you? She stated in a spiteful tone. My name is Uzumaki, Hana. Okay then Tanoko. Hana asked. Tanoko means the back of a hand. Don't call me that. Kasuri said in a whining tone. Why? Hana asked. Because it makes me feel weird. Kasuri replied. Why? Because it's not my name. Why? Because my parents named me something else. But it's a nickname. How would you like it if I called you Mimi? Mimi means ear. I wouldn't mind. You a terrible person. Why? Because you want to be. Why? Because you're rude. Why? Because you called me a name. Alright class. Iruka called from the door as he came back from the hospital. Take your seats. The group of children who had gathered around Hana and Kasuri sat down. "I'll show her." Kasuri thought as she took her seat, "How dare she mock me. I like her." Hana thought, "I think I made a new friend." At the Hokage's office. Friend. A man of middling height said as Naruto entered Tsunade's office. Said Hokage looked more than relieved to be rid of the man. He was average in height. He wore seeing glasses that were almost too large for his eyes. He had a bushy head of curly brown hair that seemed to resemble Shino's. "Hello Naruto, your mission is to get this guy to his village. It is only about 3 days from here and the risk is minimum. It is a C-rank mission." Tsunade said in a bored tone. "Yeah friend. My name's Tokage Takamaru. I know what we can do." He suddenly shouted. "Okay?" Naruto asked. He was kinda surprised how this guy's voice could be an average deepness and still sound squeaky. "Let's play a game," Takamaru suggested. "Alright," Naruto said. He liked games, he usually won. "Look up," Takamaru commanded quickly in a light tone. "Okay," Naruto said as he looked at the ceiling. It looked as it always did. Plain. "Now look down," Takamaru commanded. "Sure," Naruto said as he looked down. The floor was about as interesting as this game was. Not at all. "Now look at Mr. Frying Pan," Takamaru said. "What?" Naruto asked as he looked up just in time to get hit full in the face by a large silver frying pan. He immediately fell down in pain. "Uh-oh. Ninja fall down go boom," Takamaru said, dropping his frying pan. "I learned that one from a great comedian. I'm a prop comic." "Ah!" Naruto cried as he got up slowly. "What's wrong Ninja?" Takamaru asked in his normal voice tone. "What's wrong? You hit me with a frying pan," Naruto screamed at Takamaru. "I know, you're hungry aren't you?" Takamaru asked. "Hungry? No, I'm not hungry," Naruto yelled at the comedian. "You're right, we should really get going," Takamaru said as if answering a question. "Naruto, remember that you're not allowed to hurt the client," Tsunade yelled to Naruto as he left her office. "Takamaru, I have to go make arrangements with something, okay? Meet me at the North Village gates in about an hour," Naruto said as he went to go arrange who Hana would be staying with for the next 3 days. "Okay friend," Takamaru said as he started counting the hair on his wrist. Hinata was walking towards the academy. "I hope that I see Naruto-kun today. I heard he had a mission," she thought as she went towards the pickup area. The school would be letting out soon and she was hoping that Naruto would be there. The bell rung signaling the end of the school day. Hinata almost immediately spotted Hana, who was talking to a girl who didn't look happy to be there that Hinata had never seen before. Hana must have made a new friend. "So that's when my daddy said tomato," Hana yelled. She missed the glare that Kasuri sent in her direction. "Hinata, what are you doing here?" Naruto asked, appearing beside the now blushing girl. "IIC came to see if Hana W would like to come visit," Hinata said, making up a lie on the spot. Hey Hinata, want to do me a huge favor?" Naruto asked, remembering that he had a mission. "Anything F or YYUN Naruto-kun," Hinata mumbled inaudibly. When she saw that Naruto didn't hear, she said, "Why yes and Naruto-kun. Can you look after Hana for about 3 days? I'll owe you one," Naruto said as he explained his request. SS sure." Hinata stuttered, remembering the last time Naruto owed her one. Jackpot, Hinata stuttered in thought. "Thanks. Here is a key to my apartment if you need anything from there. I'll need it back when I come back." "Okay. See ya. Behave for Hinata, okay Hana," Naruto said as he ran off. "So I'm going to be hanging out with you and your family, tomato?" Hana asked. Why yes. We should go talk to father about this," Hinata said as she grabbed Hana's hand and led her towards the Hyuga home. "Oh, I think USH should stop wearing the jumpsuit." "Why?" Hana asked. Hinata then proceeded to tell Hana that as women grow older their bodies change. She lied a lot and blushed the whole time. "Are we there yet?" Takamaru asked loudly. "No." Naruto sighed. They were only 12 minutes outside of the village when Takamaru first started asking if they were there yet. They were now only 13 minutes out of the village and the official count of "are we there yet?" being asked was 52. "Okay then," Takamaru said as he looked at the surrounding trees. Finally. Silence. Naruto thought gleefully. He never thought that he'd be so happy to not hear anything. "Sai, friend, about how far out are we from Konoha?" Takamaru asked. "About 14 minutes. Why?" Naruto asked the comic. "No reason, friend," Takamaru said in a tone of voice that indicated that he did indeed ask for a reason. "I'm not your friend," Naruto pointed out venomously. "Why not? Is this because I didn't bring food?" Takamaru asked in a curious tone. "You hit me with a frying pan," Naruto said in a slow, calm voice. "Oh, did I?" Takamaru asked thoughtfully. "It just happened a few minutes ago," Naruto screamed in outrage. His outburst was met in silence. A few seconds passed before Naruto heard Takamaru ask, "Are we there yet?" Naruto sighed again. This is going to be a long day. He thought. Back in Konoha. Father. See, can I talk to you? Hinata asked her dad, who was doing some paperwork at the time. Only if it is important. Hiashi replied. Can Uzumaki, Hana stay over for a few days? She asked quietly. The little girl who did not back away even when faced with the infamous Hyuga death glare. Hiashi asked, not looking up from his paperwork. Why yes. Hinata responded. Fine. She will be sleeping in Hanabi's room. Now leave me be, I have important paperwork to get to. Hiashi said, finally looking up from the paper he was holding in his hand. Why yes. Thank you, father. Hinata bowed and then walked as fast as she could out of the room. This should be interesting. Hiashi said aloud as he reached into his desk and pulled out an orange book. Now I really do wonder what the fuss is about this chapter 1, Hiashi said as he started to read. Well, tomato? Hana asked loudly. Can I stay? Why yes, father didn't seem to mind. Why you will be sleeping in my sister's room. Hinata stated barely above a whisper. Yay. Hana shouted, running around. She then stopped and looked at Hinata. So I'm sleeping in Akama's room? Hinata almost laughed. And no, Neji Nai-san is my cousin. Didn't I tell you? Anyway, Hanabi Nai-chan sleeps in the room next to me. Yay. So when do I meet her? Hana asked, looking around. Right now. Came a voice from up a staircase. When Hanabi had emerged into view, she looked at Hinata and asked in a haughty tone, only Hyugas could use, what is it that I hear about sharing my room? Well, father said that Hana must sleep in your room. Hinata stuttered. Fair enough. Little girl. Hanabi said, looking down at Hana. I assume she means you, therefore I will point out a few ground rules. You must always address me as Hanabi-sama until I inform you otherwise. Second, you are not to touch my closet. Third and most importantly, you will not interrupt my sleep. She said in a commanding tone. She really didn't like ordering people around, however a Hyuga main branch member must always give orders to their inferiors. Hana just stared at Hanabi for a second, then turned her gaze towards Hinata. You miss there a change of clothes in your room? Hinata nodded and then said yes. Go up there, I'll be there as soon. Thank you, tomato. Hana replied calmly, turned to the stairway, and then took off running while screaming. I'm going to die. Hinata Nai-chan, what was the meaning of that? Hanabi said, staring at the space where Hana had just ran to. I told her that if women wear SP spandex suits, like the one G Guy Sensei and Lee-san wear, they explode. Hinata said. She then looked as though she remembered something very important. She took off running and called out, Hana, don't touch my closet. Hanabi sighed and turned towards the front door as she thought, are all people's lives like this? If so, maybe I am wrong to admire them. With Naruto and Takamaru. Suo, are we there yet? Takamaru asked. It was getting late into the night and he had yet to stop asking that question. No. We'll stop here, okay? Naruto sighed as he set down his pack. Takamaru set his down as well and then looked at a tree. Hey, I forgot something, stay here and get some food cooking, K. I'll be back in about 2 minutes. Takamaru said as he ran out of sight into the woods. I should follow him. But he'd probably just hit me with a frying pan. Naruto said to himself as he started cooking the instant ramen. Takamaru returned just in time for the ramen to finish. Sai, what's for grub? He put his hand in his pocket as he asked the question. Ramen. It's really hot. What did you forget? Naruto asked. He couldn't have left it in Konoha, no one can move that fast. Must be important though. He suspects, Takamaru thought. Sai, friend, are you lying to me? He then asked. No, it really is hot. Naruto stated bluntly. You better hope you're lying. Takamaru stated. Why? Naruto started before the steaming broth from Takamaru's bowl splashed him in the face. Naruto fell over screaming, grabbing at his face and sweeping the liquid off his face. Now I know what you're thinking, probably something along the lines of get it off of me, get it off of me. However, I wouldn't advise myself to touch that stuff. From the looks of it, it's very hot. By the way, I'm going to borrow your bowl. Takamaru said as he grabbed Naruto's bowl and started eating. After this episode ended, Takamaru fell asleep. What a jerk. Naruto thought as he made another bowl of ramen. Agreed. Let's kill him. Kyuubi said. Everything that happens to Kid happens to me too. This guy really is a jerk. Pant. Aba-chan would have a fit. You seem awfully friendly as of late. Are you finally a nice little demon? Naruto thought sincerely. Kid, if you were trapped unable to move for 15 years, you would jump at the chance to converse with anyone. I was the freest being on the planet before getting sealed, so this need is only increased. But, to answer your question, no, I am not a nice little demon as you put it. Given the chance I would destroy you, your friends, the village, and anyone else to escape. Keeping you alive only increases the likelihood of escape. Kyuubi said in a quiet tone. Ah. Was all Naruto responded with. He then fell asleep. The next morning at the Hyuga household. Hinata was humming quietly to herself as she cooked breakfast for the family. She always awoke before the others and felt that it was her duty to cook. Tomato? Hana asked sleepily from the doorway. Yes. Hinata replied. When do I have to leave? Hana asked sitting down. In about 20 minutes. Hinata answered. Hello, Nai-chan. Came a voice from the doorway. Oh, hello Hanabi Nai-chan, how did you sleep? Hinata asked turning towards Hanabi and nearly shrieked at the sight before her. Hanabi's hair was tangled and knotted all over, it also contained several leafy twigs. Turning her attention to Hanabi's face she noticed that she had bags under her eyes. Her clothes were the ones from the day before, only now instead of being pressed and wrinkle-free, it now looked as though Hanabi had wrestled a bear. Fine. Hanabi muttered. She then sat down as far away from Hana as one could get at the table. Hey Hanabi Nai-chan, would you take Hana to school? Hinata asked as she went back to cooking. Hanabi's head hit the table as she started to cry. Inside the academy. Hana had already found Kasuri and had started to talk to her were then approached by a boy who said in an apathetic tone, she doesn't like you, I think. Who are you? Hana said loudly turning her attention from Kasuri to the boy. You can call me Anagi if you want. Everyone else does. The boy said shrugging. He had brown hair that came close to his eyes, his face lacked emotion. He also wore a grey coat with black patches on the arms, shoulders and back, his pants were just blue standard shinobi pants. He slouched slightly. But what's your real name? Hana asked again. The boy perked up slightly. Murasaki, Shikamaru. He said his voice not changing in the slightest. Okay then Hidari. Hana said loudly. Hidari means left. The boy didn't respond but went back to his seat because the teacher had entered the room. Hello class. Shikamaru drawled. Haruka-sensei will not be with you for a few weeks due to criminal charges of assault. Hey smokestack. Hana called from her seat. Shikamaru's eyes narrowed slightly before he said now we were scheduled to start teaching chakra theory to you guys today. However I have decided that your taijutsu needs work. 50 laps around the school. Let's go. He signaled for the class to get up and follow. Yay. 50 laps. Hana yelled laughing as she ran to be first out of the room. It's 100 for that. Shikamaru said as he walked outside. Baka Kasuri thought when she heard this. Wonderful. Shikamaru thought sarcastically. I'm going to win. Hana shouted as soon as Shikamaru said go. She was far ahead of the class before they started. I won't lose to her. Kasuri thought as she started to catch up. How troublesome. Shikamaru mumbled reaching for a cigarette. It's going to be a long day. Sigh, friend, how much longer until we get to the village? Takamaru asked. About 3 hours and stop calling me friend. Naruto replied. I'll be more than glad to get rid of him. He thought. Okay. Takamaru said happily. You know I don't dislike a lot of people, but for you, I'll make an exception. Naruto stated. Yay. Independence. That's not a good thing. Naruto sighed. Stree Nerj Elikai Takamaru stated dreamily. What? Naruto asked in a disbelieving voice. I like green trees. Takamaru pointed out as if it were obvious. Naruto remained quiet for a few seconds and then stated I believe you. Back in Konoha. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. Shikamaru stated answering Hana's question. But why? Hana asked. Because ripping off body parts is, in most cultures, frowned upon. He sighed. So in others it's perfectly okay. Hana shouted loudly. Not quite. He mumbled as Shikamaru called the class to attention. Class I have wonderful news. Shikamaru drawled. I'm getting a puppy. Hana asked loudly with her left hand raised. No. Shikamaru stated bluntly. You're getting a puppy. Hana asked in a similar tone. No. Shikamaru sighed. You're getting married to that pretty fan lady I saw you with the other day. Hana asked leaping from her seat. You're Kami, no. Shikamaru stated loudly. Kami is God in Japanese I think. No sooner had he uttered those words that a large metal fan came down upon his head leaving a huge bump. And what is that supposed to mean? Tamari asked angrily. Troublesome woman. Class, this is Tamari, she'll be teaching the class today due to a minor miscalculation on my part. Shikamaru drawled while shooting Tamari a look that clearly said damn you. That's right kids, and if you're nice, I'll give you some of Shikamaru-sen's stuff. Previously mentioned woman stated grinning widely. No she won't Shikamaru said rubbing his head. Yes I will. Tamari said. No. Yes. Not your stuff. Hey, I saved your life. If I want the clothes off your back, I deserve to get them. I saved your life as well, twice actually. You can keep your clothes though. Who would want to see you? Shikamaru started to say but was cut off by a fan to the face. Not another word Nara. Tamari said, a look of rage on her face. Whatever. Shikamaru said, content that his stuff was safe from the insane fan-wielding woman. Anyway, class, today I will be teaching you what chakra is and what it's used for. She said as she started describing the spiritual force used in jutsu. Back with Naruto. Please. Takamaru begged. No. Naruto sighed. Please. Takamaru asked. No. Naruto exclaimed. Come on, just once. Takamaru asked again. Look, if it were a choice between eating ramen with you again or being stabbed in the foot, I would choose to be stabbed in the foot. Naruto said angrily. Bad choice, Kid Kyuubi mumbled. Why? Naruto asked as he became aware of a dreadful pain in his foot. There you go. Takamaru said, grinning. I wish I could say that I'm surprised. Naruto said while clenching his teeth in pain. Wish granted. Takamaru said, grinning even wider. Please. Let's kill him. Hey, I'll do it, just rip the seal off. I really don't need this right now. If I told you that I could count to 3 million backwards, would that change your mind? Kyuubi asked. No. Naruto replied. He breathed in deeply as he started to bandage the wound. It wasn't deep, it had just hit a painful area. You know, you should respect me more. Takamaru said as he started walking off again. Why in the world should I do that? Naruto shouted. Because I'm so bad that I eat cereal for breakfast without milk. Takamaru said as if it were an impressive feat. That's not tough at all. Naruto said. Oh yeah, well, I also drank orange juice out of the carton right after brushing my teeth. Takamaru continued. Well, I killed a man. Naruto stated. Well, I killed a multi-million-dollar industry within 10 minutes of becoming an owner. I can lift boulders over twice my weight. I can pull 2 magnets apart. I can hit a bird in the eye with a kunai without killing it. I can read. Naruto just looked at Takamaru as if he were insane. Okay then. On our way. Takamaru said, smiling. Okay, I don't even want released, just kill him. I know, make it look like Kyuubi started. No. Naruto responded. Do it now. Kyuubi said in a quiet voice. Okay. Naruto thought. Really? Kyuubi asked, excited. No, we've been over this. Join me and together we can kill this man in pretty much an instant. Kyuubi said dramatically. Leave me alone. Hey, you know what you remind me of? Takamaru asked in a thoughtful tone. What? Naruto sighed. The kitty, look at the marks, Koniko. Takamaru asked in a baby voice. Koniko means kitten. Naruto just stared, even Kyuubi seemed to be stunned into silence. Kyuubi just couldn't believe it. No one had ever called it a kitten, no one. I'm not a kitty. The Kyuubi said sadly, I'm not even in the feline family. Naruto chuckled to himself. Aw, is kitty gonna cry? Naruto joked. White mortal, this foolishness shall not be tolerated. He will be destroyed. Kyuubi said in a serious tone. He offended you that much? This offense shall not go unpunished. I am a fox, the Kyuubi, king of demons and ruler of this vessel. I shall not be referred to as a mere kitten ever. Kyuubi shouted in Naruto's head. Let's go, friend. Takamaru called from the distance. Look, we can't kill him, but we'll get even. Naruto told Kyuubi. Yes, I can only make him suffer so much by killing him. By the time we're done he'll wish for a death at the hands of the almighty fox demon. Kyuubi shouted. I will have my revenge. Yeah, sure. Naruto thought. He shall burn. Kyuubi continued. Oh, Naruto sighed, this is getting out of hand quickly. You know, I've just realized something. Takamaru said, turning back towards Naruto. Oh, and what would that be? Naruto questioned. I've been a bit rude for the last few hours. Takamaru said. Really? Naruto asked sarcastically. Yes, Takamaru said as Naruto reached him. You don't get sarcasm, do you? No. Anyway, I've evaluated your performance and have decided that you pass. Takamaru said, nodding. And that means? Naruto asked in a bored voice. That I want you to have this, take it back to the Hokage, but don't open it. Takamaru said, handing Naruto a small scroll. Why not? Naruto asked, suddenly interested. No real reason, other than this, if anyone other than your current Hokage opens it, Takamaru paused, they will die. Naruto gazed at the scroll with new respect. Nah, just messing with you. Takamaru laughed. But seriously, that scroll won't mean anything to anyone else. So I could open it if I wanted to. Nope. Why? Because I've rigged it with a seal, don't ask how, that prevents anyone but Tsunade from opening it. Wouldn't that mean you know jutsu then? Naruto asked, confused. Oh, I know a lot of things, I do pretty much whatever I want. I've been a ninja, a samurai, a landowner, and a great deal of other things. I have excellent luck in almost anything I want to accomplish really. Takamaru said shrugging. Really then? Naruto asked in a skeptical tone. Yep, kinda weird really. Okay then goodbye. Takamaru said as he walked away. Wait, what? Naruto asked surprised. We've arrived at my village. Takamaru said over his shoulder. Looking up Naruto realized that they had arrived ahead of schedule. Good luck with Hana, I believe you call her. Oh, and don't worry, we'll be meeting again real soon, Takamaru said as he entered the village. Finally. Naruto sighed as he began to walk away. But you promised me revenge. Kyuubi whined from Naruto's mind. Maybe next time, kitty. Naruto laughed. He called you a kitty too. Kyuubi retorted. Oh, this is going to be a long trip. Naruto moaned. Hana, over here. Shino said quietly from some bushes. Uncle Shino. Hana shouted running full speed over towards the bushes. Hana no. Shino said loudly. Why? She asked confused. I thought we were friends. But I guess that fate is a cruel mistress. Hana said dramatically. You don't know what that means do you? Shino asked. Not a clue. Hana said grinning. So what did you want Uncle Shino? I don't have a lot of time, my dad is very upset about recent events, he'll be looking for me in a bit, so I have to be fast. I hear that Guy-sensei is looking for you. Shino warned in an ominous tone. Hana however didn't take it as a warning, on the contrary she seemed most pleased by this fact. Thanks Uncle Shino. She said as she ran off to find Guy-sensei. Ah, children, so misguided. Shino sighed. Aburam, Shino? A voice asked from nearby. Yes. Shino said in his normal voice as he turned to face the man behind him. I'm here to arrest you in a suspected pedophilia case. The Anbu said. What? You have no grounds. Shino said standing up from the bushes. Wrong, we have several points of evidence. The Anbu revealed. Like what? Shino asked in a panicked voice. 1. You're wearing a trench coat. The Anbu pointed out. That doesn't mean a thing. 2. You're always wearing sunglasses. A feeble piece of evidence at best. 3. You have candy in your pockets. I happen to enjoy candy. Shino defended. And lastly, you have been hanging out in areas where young children frequent. The Anbu said as though he had Shino pinned. I look for bugs in the park, I make sure my niece isn't being bullied at her school, and I buy candy at the candy store. Shino stated. We're still going to have to take you in for questioning. The Anbu said grabbing Shino's wrist. This won't stand, I'll be out by 8. Shino said upset. Near Guy's training ground. Alright team now, we will be training for a mission that will not allow for deadly force. Guy said loudly to his team. But Guy-sensei you told us we would be going on a mission today. Lee said disappointed. Yes Lee, but I told you that so you would be able to adapt to changing mission objectives. Guy said revealing his brilliant scheme. Guy-sensei, I have to point out that there are very few missions that would require this restraint. Neji said standing by some trees. Rescue, reconnaissance, employer guarding, and training missions. Guy listed off rapid fire. All of which can require deadly force Guy-sensei. Ten said sitting by a training dummy. What was that Ten-chan? 100 laps around the village. If you want to run them, okay. We are going to spar. Now any more comments or do you really want to do laps instead of spar? Guy said in a loud voice. I said, you are a brilliant and youthful man Guy-sensei, and I'd never think of questioning you, ever. Ten said as she sweat dropped. But Ten, you just said Lee began, but Ten threw a kunai at him cutting him off. Midori-sensei. Hana screamed from the bushes she had just charged through. She ran right up to Guy and then saluted ready for duty. She said loudly. Wow, I'm so good at looking for people I don't even have to start before I find them. That just goes to show you Lee, as long as you believe in youth anything is possible. Guy-sensei. Lee said, tears running down his cheek at his sensei's brilliant words. Lee. Guy cried out in a similar state. Guy-sensei. Lee cried again. Lee. Guy-sensei. Midori-sensei. Hana said with tears in her eyes. Hana. Guy cried out as loud as he could in surprise and pride. Midori-sensei. Hana cried out as well. Wow, just when I thought today would be normal as it could be this happens. Neji muttered where he stood. Oh, come on Neji, it's kinda cool that they add such flair to the day. Ten pointed out watching as Guy, Lee, and Hana hugged all the while crying. Ten-chan, you do not throw a paper bomb into a fire just because you think it needs flair. Neji said in a condescending manner. If you're trying to alert a rescue team. The weapons master replied. Yes, because you really want to kill yourself just to be rescued. Neji said trying to make a point. He's watching Neji, just shut up. Ten whispered through clenched teeth. What? He'll make me run laps, just be quiet. Ten pleaded. What a waste of my time this has been. Neji said as he got up to leave. Okay team, Guy said, his cheeks dry as though they hadn't seen even a droplet of water. I'm going to help Hana understand the basics of chakra control. Lee, you run laps. 10-10 you go do target practice. Neji, go do whatever it is you do during the day. He said as each went to complete their allotted task. I'm telling you kid, that man had a weird aura about him. Kyuubi told Naruto as they walked through the forest. And you only now bring it up? You just want me to hurt the guy. Naruto thought. No, I mean it, humans like yourself couldn't recognize it, but there was something familiar about him. Kyuubi said desperately. Okay, where did you sense it before? Naruto asked. I don't remember, I've overlooked every demon and ninja since before you were born and nothing seems to be exactly like it. Not evil, but not good either. Kyuubi said thoughtfully. What about more recently? Hit, my memory has gone a little bad since I was sealed, you humans seem to remember very unimportant details. We kitsune just remember mates, hunting grounds, dens, and potential enemies. I have to sift through every single unimportant piece of information that you've ever seen, heard, thought, or felt. Kyuubi informed him. Well, keep me updated, eh? You don't understand how bad this is. Kyuubi stated as he went back to thinking. Hana. Guy cried out in joy. You've caught on so fast. I know, I'll see if you can't do this jutsu. Guy said loudly. Aye sensei. Lee shouted as he leapt into the field. I heard you yelling and ran. What did Hana do? Nothing, I was just telling her how she should rely on taijutsu because ninjutsu is dangerous. Now go back to laps and don't interrupt me again. Sorry Guy sensei, to make up for this intrusion I will run the laps on my hands. Lee cried out his challenge to the world as he went to complete it. Okay, Hana, I know I promised to teach you a jutsu, but it's just too dangerous. So I will take you to a man who is one of the best ninjutsu users in the village. Haddock, Kakashi. Guy shouted. So who? Hana asked. So who is grandfather? I didn't respond. He just turned away from her and shook at irregular intervals. After a few moments of this, okay, let's go visit your Sohu. He said in a weird tone. A few minutes later they arrived at Kakashi's house. When he opened the door, Guy sprung into the man's abode and proudly proclaimed, I have been entrusted with the task of handing over your. Guy paused as he laughed silently. Megamyasum. He finished as he laughed out loud. Megamyasum means granddaughter. Get out of my house you criminal. Kakashi told Guy. Okay, just teach her a jutsu, she's great at chakra control. Guy laughed as he exited the house. Hello Sohu. Hana shouted as she started running around Kakashi's house. Hey, Hana, wanna meet a very good friend of mine, she'll teach you great jutsu, just like you dad's. Kakashi lied. Yeah. Great, she lives a little bit away from here. At the Hyuga estate. Emoto-chan, have you seen Hana? Hinata asked Hanabi as she entered the room. Emoto is younger sister. Yeah, I think Guy sensei was talking to her. Hinata considered this for a brief moment. She then ran out of the room as if trying to escape from a raging bull. Okay, so in exchange for looking after Hana, I'll let you see me without a majority of my mask and I'll buy all the dango you eat for the next week. Kakashi said. It's a deal, Haddock-san. Still don't know why you're so desperate to get this girl off your hands, you've seen how I eat dango. Madarash, Anko said, shutting the door on Kakashi's face. Okay, so your name is Hana, correct? Yes. Hana said, examining some of Anko's furniture. Fresh meat, this ought to be fun. An hour later. Madarashi-sama. Hinata asked as she knocked on Anko's door. Salvation. Yelled a loud voice on the other side of the door. When the door was opened, Hinata was shocked by what she saw. You're Hinata, right? Good, take this monstrosity with you. Anko said as she pushed Hana out of the door. The brief glimpse that Hinata saw would suggest that Hana had found a lot of makeup and twigs and had then decided that Anko needed a makeover. That's what, tomato? I learned a jutsu today. Hana shouted excited. That's great Hana. I'm just happy you're safe. Let's go check if Naruto-kun is back yet. Yay. Hey daddy. Hana yelled out, approaching her adoptive father with a speed unrivaled by other 7-year-olds. Hey Hana. How are you doing? Naruto responded, smiling broadly. When Hana first forced him to be her father, he didn't think he'd end up liking her, but as more and more time went by, the more he felt like he was her real father, and sometimes he thought maybe she needed a mother. Oh chicka wow wow, hey kid. Kyuubi laughed loudly, the sound resonating in Naruto's ears. Shut up kitten. Naruto responded, a look of annoyance crossing his face. Move man move. Kyuubi responded, sounding sad. Are you crying? Naruto asked, genuinely concerned. No, now go away. I don't want to talk to you. Kyuubi sniffled before sobbing loudly into one of its 9 tails. Oh, I'm sorry, is there anything I can do to make it up to you? Naruto asked feeling like a real jerk. Kyuubi sniffled a few times before replying well there is one thing Kyuubi responded sounding a little happier. I'm not letting you out furball. Naruto responded. Why do you patronize me? Kyuubi sobbed I just wanted a hug, is that too much to ask? Is it? Kyuubi cried out, literal rivers of tears exploding from its eyes. Oh Naruto said aloud sounding sad. Daddy? Are you okay? Hana asked also sounding sad at the thought of Naruto being sad. No Hana just a friend of daddy's is sad right now. Naruto replied looking down at the girl. Did you give them a hug? My friends are always happier after a hug. Hana responded. And it's a good thing your friends have you to keep them happy. Naruto replied trying to be nice, though for some reason, he got the feeling that Hana's hugs didn't make people as happy as she thought they did, in fact her hugs hurt a little bit. Hey Ko hello Naruto-kun. Hinata said, having been content to remain quiet up until this point. Oh hello Hinata, how have you been doing? You take good care of my daughter? Naruto asked giving Hinata a grin that expressed pure joy and caused her to melt a little. Yes, I took very good care of her. And I would have taken great care of you too. Hinata said thinking the last part aloud. I'm glad you'd be hospitable to me too. Naruto said grinning not catching what Hinata meant. Yo you heard that? Hinata asked her pupilless eyes widening in shock. Yeah. And I'm glad you'd let me stay at your house. Naruto remarked. I'd do more than that. Hinata said again thinking aloud, having got into the habit after hanging around herself for a while. Like? Naruto asked genuinely confused. Oh Fua, I'm gonna go now. Hinata said nearly cursing before she scurried off to her home blushing immensely. Hey daddy? Hana asked looking up at her father while still waving at Hinata. Yeah Hana. Naruto asked glancing down at the small girl. What does fuck mean? Hana asked innocently. What? Naruto asked nearly dropping the small girl in surprise that she had picked up such harsh language. I heard Tomato say it a couple of times, usually after she messed something up, but I also heard it a couple times at night. Hana remarked. Well, you see when two adults it's a bad word don't use it. Naruto remarked blushing, though he had no idea why Hinata would be saying it after dark or why such a shy girl would be saying it at all. But it doesn't hurt anyone does it? Hana asked, not seeing why something that didn't hurt anyone, like a word, should be such a bad thing. Yeah, but some adults get offended when people say things like that. So just don't say it okay? When you're older you can use it. Naruto compromised and if you use it, I'll take away Ichiraku Ramen forever. Naruto said trying to fulfill the tough parent routine he figured this situation called for. Hana's eyes widened to the size of dinner plates for forever. She asked her tone similar to that of one who has just been denied every pleasure the world has to offer and is instead reduced to living with no sort of happiness. Forever. Naruto nodded, though the pain in Hana's tone hurt him almost as much as his threat hurt her. I'll never say fuck again. I promise. Hana shouted before slapping her hands to her mouth, her eyes welling up in tears. Don't worry Hana. That one doesn't count. Naruto replied smiling a bit at her reaction as he set her down and crouched so that he was at eye level with the young girl now, you be a good girl and go home and I'll be right with you okay? I just gotta go file a report and assault charges and go to a doctor and write a strongly worded letter with lots of capitals and exclamation points. Naruto said his smile slipping from his face. Okay daddy. Hana shouted before head-butting him in the chest a little don't be gone too long. She said before she skipped off happily in the direction of their home, her world was complete, her father was home, she was becoming a ninja, and she hadn't gotten hit by a bus. Life was good. I never would have figured Hinata one to curse, but I guess that everyone deserves one little guilty pleasure. Naruto remarked before heading off to the Hokage Tower to file his report and assault charges. Naruto. A voice that Naruto couldn't recognize called out as though panicking. Yeah? Who are, oh hey Shin Naruto started but was interrupted by Shino slapping him. Shut up, we don't have a lot of time. You've gotta tell them I'm not a pedo. Shino said desperately pointing at the two Anbu behind him. You're a pedo? Naruto asked not sure what that was. That's good enough for us, come on you sick weirdo, you're going downtown. The Anbu said grabbing Shino's arm. Help. Shino sobbed as the Anbu drug him away Naruto. Call Hinata. Tell her it happened. Kiba was right. We've got a whiskey delta. Red alert. Fight the power. Shino called out sounding as if he was in shock and halfway to insane. Okay. Naruto shouted back. Looking at the Hokage Tower and then at the setting sun, Naruto decided that he could do all that tomorrow and that tonight he'd just hang out with his daughter. Smiling that he finally was free of the annoying man with a frying pan, he headed off towards his home. Little did he know that a man was watching his every move, noting several subtle things as he jotted them down on his notepad. His research was finally coming to an end. Soon, he could strike. Naruto rested the small sleeping form of his daughter on the bed, smiling at her tiny form. He honestly didn't think that he'd ever get used to having a daughter. But, he started to think of what would happen if he was killed during a mission, or murdered. Who'd take care of her then? He thought aloud as he lay down on the couch, wanting to be alone for a while. We need to talk. Kyuubi interrupted, sounding halfway between grief-filled and pissed. Go away furball, I don't want to. Naruto started, however he was swiftly interrupted by the room starting to swirl and grow dark and slowly replace itself with a small meadow full of flowers of various shades and hues. I won't be kept waiting this time, kid. Kyuubi snarled, still enshrouded in darkness despite the sunny state of the meadow. Fine, what do you want, Koniko-san? Naruto asked, smiling at the insult. Stop your insolence, you fool. We have important matters to discuss. Kyuubi boomed, the darkness starting to swirl and dissipate, the white peaceful clouds in the meadow sky growing dark and dangerous as thunder clapped and wind blew, tearing several plants from the ground. Naruto was forced to close his eyes as a cloud of dirt swirled into the air. After a few minutes of this, Naruto was blown to the ground as he cast a glance upwards. No longer was there a huge typhoon of darkness, instead a figure around his size, which looked vaguely familiar, stood there still enshrouded in darkness. We have little enough time as it is. The figure said as the meadow started returning to its pristine state. Closing his eyes as he stood up, Naruto opened his eyes to view the Kyuubi's smaller form. Once he realized what had happened, his mouth fell in shock. Before him was the form of a beautiful woman, stark naked. It's been a long time since I have used this form. The woman remarked, its voice still resonating throughout Naruto's mindscape as it looked itself over. Despite its red eyes, it looked like a normal woman. Kyuubi? Naruto asked, surprised at the revelation that Kyuubi was a woman. Surprised, kid? I can assume human form at will. I am a creature of pure chakra now, I can assume many forms. Kyuubi remarked, and as though to prove its point it transformed into several of Naruto's friends before settling for the womanly form again, though this time fully clothed in a traditional kimono. Naruto asked, so you're a shapeshifter now? I have been for many years, kid. 15 right around now. The Kyuubi said, smiling, obviously proud of this talent. So you're a cross-dresser? Naruto asked innocently. What? No. I'm not a cross-dresser. Since I am a being of pure chakra, I have no need for reproductive organs, so I have never been a man or a woman. Kyuubi said, pissed off once more. So you're a she-male? The blonde knucklehead remarked thoughtfully. Yes, wait. No. Stop laughing. Kyuubi said, sounding childish and embarrassed at what it had said, though Naruto didn't catch this, he was too busy laughing. You're a girl and a guy. He laughed, literally rolling on the ground. I'm neither. Shut up. Kyuubi said, its womanly form starting to revert to a teenager state. Ha 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 ha. Naruto laughed loudly. The Kyuubi's form blushed, this was definitely not going the way she had hoped. Stop. It shouted as it lunged at Naruto, fully intending to beat the living hell out of the young ninja before she seemingly hit a solid wall and flew back, burn marks all over its body and clothes, though both of these things healed quickly. Obviously, though the cage was no longer visible, it was still in existence. After all, she could only meld Naruto's mindscape so much. Naruto was about done laughing at this point and he sat up, still chuckling a little. Hahaha, Mr. Mrs. Kyuubi, what did you want me for? Motherfucker, she said, slowly getting up, some tears in her eyes. I think I'm a bit closer to figuring out where I had felt the evil presence on that insolent son of a bitch. Kyuubi said, shouting the last part in a wailing shriek before seemingly remembering that Naruto was there and calmed down. I felt a similar presence earlier today, right after the insane man was dragged away. So? What do you want me to do? Naruto asked, starting to wonder if perhaps Kyuubi was telling the truth about Takamaru being evil. Though, he still honestly thought that she just wanted him killed for the kitten comment. Just be careful, that's all. Kyuubi responded, a tone of caring in her tone. And you had to bring me here to tell me this? Naruto asked, sensing that Kyuubi had an ulterior motive. Well, Kyuubi said, sounding thoughtful for a second before shaking her head. No, that was it. She said, darkness starting to envelope her form as once again the meadow swirled around and changed shape back to the dark sower that it usually was now. Get some sleep. The voice said, halfway between the womanly tone and the dark tone of the Kyuubi that Naruto was used to. Dad? Yeah. This is very important. Stop crying, he's dead already, just get the yes. Well, I'm in jail. You can help me. Shino shouted into the phone, never before having a need to get upset, though, there's a first time for everything. I don't care. I don't have that kind of money. Shibi replied back into the phone, wiping away some tears. What could you possibly have spent it on? The clan has plenty of money, that aside, you have plenty of money. Shino remarked, returning to his calm state, knowing that the clan's money was only to be used in absolute emergencies, such as the rebuilding of Konoha or the rebuilding of the Aburam abode. "I promise you won't get mad." Shibi replied after a short silence, sounding like a child who was just caught doing something naughty. "That depends, father." Shino responded, honestly not sure how he'd react to anything. "I spent it on a statue," Shibi said sheepishly. "A statue? Of what?" Shino asked, shocked. His father was always known as a man who didn't spend money on luxury. Of me," Shibi replied. "Why?" Shino asked, beyond pissed at this point. "Well, I'm getting old, son. I want to be remembered when I'm gone," Shibi admitted, signs of actual normal humanity showing through. "Well, I'll always remember you as the jackass who let me stay in jail next to some creep who keeps eyeing my shoes. When did you even buy it?" Shino shouted into the phone, kicking the weird man next to him hard enough to move the man a few feet away. 20 minutes after you were arrested. Now I know." "Hello? Hello? Shino, are you there?" Shibi asked before he realized that his son had hung up on him. Glancing at the solid gold statue of himself heroically posed, he sighed, "You still love me, don't you, statue?" No, you're a pretty huge jerk, man. I can't even look at you," Shibi mimed as he turned the statue away from himself. "Well, fine. Forget you. At least my bugs still love me," Shibi remarked when suddenly bugs started pouring out of his pores. "What? Oh, come on. That's not even funny," Shibi shouted as the bugs formed a large frowny face in front of him before resting on the ceiling. "Shikamaru?" Tamari asked, glancing around her friend's scantily decorated apartment. It was small, with only 2 rooms worth mentioning, the bedroom and the living room. The apartment's lighting was also very bare, featuring 2 lights per room, all of which could turn on separately. "Yeah, Tamari?" Shikamaru asked, glancing down at the shogi board. He already saw 27 moves he could make to win in anywhere from 10 to 20 moves, but he enjoyed dancing circles around his opponents. He moved one of his pieces into a rather novice position as bait, as a smirk appeared on his face. The position of the piece was wide open for attack, but it was also in a good attacking spot. Strategy depended on what your opponent thought you were thinking, as much as what you were actually thinking. "Have you ever considered moving?" she asked, her eyebrow perking up at the move. It was too stupid to be a genuine move, and so instead of taking the piece, she moved a piece totally unrelated to the hot spot on the board. "No, not really." "Why?" Shikamaru asked, his smirk falling as he realized she wouldn't fall for such a simple maneuver. "Well, I was just thinking that this place looks a bit lonely," Tamari replied, trying to keep up her courage to go through with her plan. "I like lonely. I don't have to deal with troublesome people. I can just relax." Shikamaru returned as his eyes widened a small amount at the move she had just made. "Piss," he mumbled. "Well, I was thinking. I'm in Konoha a lot and I suggested to Gara that maybe I could live in the village as a live-in liaison since I'm here so much. So that's a move, man," Tamari said, snapping her attention back to the game as she moved a piece to counter it. "So, I've been thinking maybe we could move in together." Tamari asked, hoping that he said yes. "How much rent?" Shikamaru asked, seemingly uncaring. "Well, since I'm an important person, probably very low. It all depends," Tamari remarked, blushing at the fact that Shikamaru was considering it. "Alright, I'll do it," Shikamaru said, no trace of emotion in his voice as he noticed a way Tamari could win as he quickly moved a piece to defend against it. "Oh, really?" Tamari exclaimed, her tone betraying her excitement. "Yeah, it's almost time to pay rent and I'm flat broke," Shikamaru remarked. Oh, okay," Tamari replied, crestfallen that Shikamaru was just using her like this. "Besides, you're not the most troublesome woman to be around," Shikamaru admitted, and for most people, this would be an insult, but considering that this was Shikamaru, it was similar to him proclaiming that he was going to slam his head into a wall until a full-scale picture of her was ingrained into it. Tamari's eyes welled up with tears of joy. Sure, it wasn't as intimate as she would like, but it was an amazing first step that she had been waiting for ever since a few weeks ago when she realized that she cared for Shikamaru as a little more than a friend. "Thank you," she replied, wiping her eye. "Are you okay?" Shikamaru asked, genuinely concerned for her when he saw her tears, afraid he had done something wrong. Tamari burst out laughing, and it wasn't the kind that romance movies portrayed women using. This was full-blown laughter. "I'm better than okay. I just won," Tamari shouted as she moved her final piece into place, sealing Shikamaru's fate. A look of disbelief crossed his face as he examined the board, realizing slowly that he had indeed lost. "Take that, bitch. I kicked your ass," Tamari shouted at the top of her lungs, laughing maniacally as though she were a mad woman. Shikamaru slowly slid from the chair he had been sitting on. She had beat him with a beginner's move. He, who prided himself at being a genius at shogi, had lost to a beginner's move. He slowly fell to his knees as he lost all strength due to shock. Slowly he fell into the fetal position on the floor as the blonde woman above him shouted obscenities at the sky. He couldn't believe that he agreed to live with that. Shino stared at the wall of his small cell, his glasses having been removed from his possession, so he had tied a small cloth to his face to conceal his eyes. He never had been comfortable with wearing glasses. "I don't belong here," the young ninja said as he pondered his next move. "None of us belong here, kid, but as far as they care, we deserve to be here for just breathing the wrong way. I'm Shikamaru, what's your name?" the man in the adjacent cell remarked. "I'm Shino. I have a friend named Shikamaru." "Shikamaru, Nara. You know him?" Shino asked. "No, I don't know anyone named Shikamaru," the man replied. "Not even yourself?" the bug user asked, smiling at his joke. "I'm not Shikamaru. My name's Gakumaru," the man corrected the innocent jailbird. "Oh, I thought you said Shikamaru. Sorry about that, Gakumaru," Shino apologized. "Hey kid, me and you are talking, don't ignore me," Gakumaru said, sounding ridiculously angry. "But you said your name's Gakumaru," Shino protested sadly. "Who's Gakumaru? What kind of stupid name is that?" "My name's Steve." "Steve Gakumaru," Shikamaru said. "Okay, Steve's not even a name. You're messing with me, aren't you?" Shino said, getting annoyed at the other man's antics. Especially now that he had started to spout gibberish. "Of course Steve's not a name. What kind of name is Steve?" the man said, starting to sound crazy. "Excuse me, guard?" Shino asked softly. "Yeah, what is it, you piece of criminal filth? I mean, less than law-abiding, slightly dirty being," the guard asked, silently cursing the new politically correct term for criminal filth. "How long has the man in the next cell been here?" the reserved young man asked curiously, wondering how long it took for people to go insane in Konoha prisons. The guard stalled as he looked at the prisoner. "Actually, wait a second, you're not a prisoner." "So? I want to be a prisoner today," the man yelled at the guard. "Get the hell out of here, you crazy bastard. I mean, less than sane man with an unknown father," the guard said, cursing political correctness in general. He approved of equality, but when people were crazy, changing the name didn't help much, in his opinion. "Never. You'll never take me alive," the man said, running from the cell after flinging the door open. He then ran by Shino's cell. "Come friend. I'll save you. Cheese grater of doom," the man shouted as he started bashing Shino's cell with a cheese grater produced from his shirt pocket. "At him," the guard yelled as he tackled Steve Gakumaru Shikamaru to the ground. "Now, you're gonna go back to an asylum. But I don't want my cheese grater to be lonely. Cell man. Take cheese. Keep her safe for me. I love you, honey," the man shouted as he threw the cheese grater at Shino's cell, and due to its small size, it flew in effortlessly and struck Shino right in the family jewels. Laying on the ground several minutes later, Shino was crying his eyes out. The world just seemed to hate him this month. "I just got beaten by a crazy man and a cheese grater," Shino thought, still crying. "Hey, kid, you got a visitor," the guard said, panting from the exertion of transporting the crazy man out of the prison. "Who?" Shino asked, tears streaming down his face. "Uncle Shino," a small voice said curiously. "Why are you in a playpen?" "Hana," Shino said, getting up, hope filling his body as he ran towards the bar. "Yeah, Uncle Shino?" Hana asked, walking up to the bars, though the guard didn't seem to think it was safe. He didn't say anything. "Hana. You've got to tell them I'm not a pedophile. Tell them I didn't touch you," Shino said, desperate. "But Uncle Shino, you did touch me," Hana said innocently, not seeing why her uncle was in a big playpen for touching her on the shoulder or giving her a pat on the back. Shino's mouth almost literally hit the floor. Shock filled his body as he processed what had just happened. The girl he loved like a niece had just said he touched her. "I never touched you," Shino shouted, his voice cracking from strain. "That's enough, little girl, you need to go now. You can see this creature get what he deserves after his trial. He can never hurt you again." "Bye, Uncle Shino. Have fun." Hana waved while smiling as she was escorted by the guard, who was full of sorrow. How could people do this to a child? "I didn't do anything. I swear. It's a misunderstanding," Shino called out loudly. However, the guard for the most part ignored him. Time skip, time skip. The next day, Shino was standing in a courtroom dressed in his normal attire, plus a tie, for it always helped to look formal. "Your Honor, I plead not guilty." The judge, a short man who was sitting on a very big chair with several books in the seat so that he could see the defendant, nodded lightly. "All right, let the trial for Aburam Shino begin," the judge said, sounding as if he had already made up his mind. "Your Honor, this creature has had several pieces of evidence presented against him, and he is indeed wearing most of them. If it would please the court, I'd like to point out that he is wearing a trench coat." A collective gasp went through the crowd's sunglasses. Another large gasp was heard. "Weird hair." This time the crowd was silent, and most importantly, "He has pictures of children in his wallet," the attorney said loudly as another gasp went through the crowd. What? No, I don't. Shino protested loudly, he didn't even have a wallet. He carried no money on him unless absolutely necessary, so wallets were just wasted space. Oh really, Mr. Pedo the dinosaur? Then just what is this? The lawyer said, producing a wallet from a bag labeled evidence. Opening it up, several pictures fell out of children running around and playing. Shino was quiet for a second. That's not my wallet, he said calmly. Oh really? Then why is your name on it? The attorney said, spinning the wallet around to reveal Shino the pedo's written really big on the side. What idiot puts his name on a wallet? And more importantly, if I were a pedo, which I'm not, but if I were, why in the hell would I put it on my wallet full of children's pictures? Shino asked, annoyed to the point where his quiet demeanor was far out the window. So it is your wallet? The lawyer remarked, flashing a smile indicating that he thought he had Shino cornered. I was speaking hypothetically, it's not my wallet. Shino said, starting to get angry. So you're denying it's your wallet? The man asked, flashing another smile. Yes. Shino said, happy to finally be getting somewhere with these people. So you admit that you're denying it's your wallet? The lawyer asked. Yes. I am. Shino said, his annoyance starting to return. Hear that? He admits that he's denying it. So that means it is his wallet, but he's not going to say it is. The man continued, even throwing the present Nara Shikamaru for a loop with the logic. Agaga, Shino said, his face falling. So it's his wallet, and he admitted that it's his, but that doesn't prove much, just that it's his wallet. The judge said, a drawl coming out of his voice. Shino wasn't sure if he was lucky or unlucky to get such an idiot judge. The word manipulation the lawyer had just pulled probably would have convinced many people of his guilt. Wait. I want Uzumaki Hana to come to the stand, just talk to her about it. I swear she'll clear all this up. Shino said calmly. Aburam-san, I would appreciate it if you didn't yell in my courtroom. The judge said, reaching for something under his desk. But I'm not yelling. Shino said, starting to think this judge was an idiot. Alright, I didn't want to have to threaten you with this, but the judge said, producing a small aerosol can from beneath the desk, if you don't calm down, I'll kill all your insects. Okay. Calm down, no need to be hasty. Shino said, nearly losing control of his bladder at the sight of the deadly substance. Okay, then someone find Uzumaki Hana and we'll question her. The judge said to a nearby Anbu. However, before the Anbu could move anywhere, a small girl approached the front of the courtroom with gusto. Who are you? I'm Uzumaki Hana, I'm 7 years old, and I'm gonna be a ninja. My daddy is friends with Uncle Shino, and he knows tomato and numbskull. We like ramen and Uncle Shino buys me stuff sometimes. And we play horsey a lot. Hana proclaimed loudly and excited that she got to play another game with her uncle and all these people. Shino banged his head into the desk when Hana said horsey because he knew exactly what all these people were thinking. Anyway, please sit up here, miss, the attorney said, leading the small girl to a seat and then picked up a doll from his desk. Can you show me where he's touched you? Yes. Hana said, here. Hana pointed to the head several times. What are you doing? The lawyer interrupted, confused. I'm showing you where he touched me. He touched me here once and here once and here once. Hana said as she started once again poking the doll in the head. Okay. Look, Miss Uzumaki, I only want you to tell me if he ever touched you here. The man said as he pointed to the crook between the doll's legs. No, why would Uncle Shino touch me there? Hana asked, cocking her head to one side, confused. Has he ever made you touch him there? The man asked, pointing to the same spot. No, but he gave me candy once, it was tasty, then we went to his house and I danced with his dad, and his dad was fun. Hana said, starting to get bored with the conversation. Well, tell us about the game, horsey. The lawyer asked. Well, he puts me on his shoulders and then we run around the village. He doesn't go as fast as Midori-sensei, but I like Uncle Shino's rides better. Hana said happily, getting interested in the game again. My sunglasses. The lawyer shouted, seeing his case falling apart. The crowd murmured at the lame attempt. You are very convincing, but I've made my decision. The judge said as he mulled the verdict over in his head. In the crowd, Hinata and Naruto were scared stiff for their friend. Oh, Naruto-kun, what if they sent Shino-kun to jail? It'll crush Hana. Hinata said, seeming sad. Naruto felt uncomfortable seeing Hinata so sad, so he tried to think of something to say to make Hinata see that everything would be okay, but he couldn't think of anything until he remembered something Jiraiya had said one time during their training that made women feel safe. Hinata was surprised when she felt an arm on her shoulder, realizing it was Naruto. She blushed, but managed to stay conscious. Soon she found herself leaning into him as they basically cuddled in the middle of the courtroom. Naruto-kun. She whispered, her heart racing. It'll be okay, Hinata, I promise. Naruto said, giving Hinata a one-armed hug, glad that Jiraiya had taught him something about women that was applicable in this situation. But he couldn't help but think that maybe this had to do with something perverted like most of the sage's lessons. However, right now, the only important thing was that it made Hinata feel better. Not guilty. The judge called across the courtroom. No. Come on. Send him to jail. The lawyer cried out. Why are you so adamant on wanting me to go to jail? I'm not a pedophile. Shino said, shocked that the man thought he was a pedophile still. Of course you're not a pedophile. None of that was convincing evidence for anyone with half a brain. The lawyer said as if it were obvious. Then why did you want me in jail? Shino asked, shocked. I wanted your pants. The lawyer said, crying, my pants aren't as fancy as the pair you're wearing, and pants are all I have in life. The man literally soaked the floor with his tears. You had me spend the night in jail for pants? Shino asked in calm disbelief. Yes, the lawyer cried, now on the floor in the fetal position. Hana, leave, Uncle Shino has something to take care of. I'll play with you later. Shino said as bugs started to pour from his body. Okay, have fun with your friend. Bye, waterfalls. Hana said as she walked back to her daddy. Oh hey Hana. Naruto said when he noticed her. Hinata seemed to tense up at the mention of Naruto's daughter. Hey daddy, uncle's gonna play with his friend, then he'll come hang out with me. Hana said, looking at Hinata's blush. Tomato didn't begin to describe the shade of red she was. Hinata meanwhile was having an internal debate, torn between doing what her heart desired and her crippling self-doubt. She decided to do it. Her blush, glowing like a sun, rose as she leaned upwards and attempted to kiss Naruto. Come on Hana, let's go. Naruto said, getting up, causing her to kiss his shoulder. Oh, sorry Hinata, didn't see you getting up too, you okay? Hinata's confidence faded as she merely nodded, yes I'm fine Naruto-kun. She didn't let her disappointment show, son of a motherfucking bitch. Hinata shouted in her head, though her outward appearance was of the shy girl everyone knew. Hey Hinata? Naruto asked. Why yes Naruto-kun? Hinata asked, her stutter returning, now that she was out of the comforting embrace of her love. Wanna go get some lunch with me and Hana? Naruto asked, wanting to celebrate Shino's freedom. Why yes Naruto-kun, I'd like that a lot. Hinata said, more than happy to go on a family outing with them. Shino? You wanna come to lunch? Naruto asked, remembering him suddenly. No, I'm gonna bug this guy for a second, Shino said, using bug as a euphemism for beating the living hell out of the poor soul. Okay. Naruto said as he led his adopted daughter and his good friend out of the courtroom for a treat of Ichiraku ramen. What if Naruto saves a little girl? Naruhina end here, and thanks for watching my video till the end.